Arsenal won, Chelsea won. You know when your parents, I'm not even mad. I'm disappointed. That's how I feel right now. Eu vou ser sincero, you already know me, eu não quero saber, não tô aqui na internet para falar merda, yeah? I'm not even angry, I'm disappointed. Before the game, I warned we will not be able to cook these guys through the middle of the park. And we're trying to play through the press. I warned, eu avisei que não vai funcionar. E agora estão a ver o que eu estava a falar. Now you see what I was saying, bro. I told, man, you're not going to play through their press. I'm sorry. The performance today wasn't good enough. The referee had some howling decisions. Yeah, but guess what? They were down to 10 men. So I'm not going to use that as an excuse. That's not going to be used as an excuse. That will not be used as an excuse. Isso não vai funcionar aqui. The first half, Zubamendi, that whole chat about Zubamendi, isso, Zubamendi, aquilo, Zubamendi por caraças, pá. Zubamendi meu cu. Zubamendi por caraças. Don't ever talk to me about Zubamendi. That guy was horrendous. The ball passing, the way that he was transitioning with the ball, uma merda. Não vem aqui porque o Zubamendi, cala a boca. He is rubbish. I don't care. And it's going to take a lot to change my mind. Porque eu não quero saber nenhuma merda. They were down to 10 men, bro. They were down to 10 men. And this is the performance that we put in. It's not good enough, bro. Remember, before they start saying, but you're being too much, you're exaggerating. Mas you're just doing it for the rivals, porque isso, porque aquilo. Draws are the reason we didn't win the league. And now, I'm not going to spaz out, because I could lose it. But I'm not going to lose it, because we did well against Bayern, we did well against Tottenham. Cool, we got the draw. I didn't want to draw. I wanted to win. But I'm not happy, bro. I'm not happy. I am sorry. Zubamendi and Moreno in that first half were absolutely horrendous. Every single time we were trying to transition, these men will get impressed. And I warned before the game, eu avisei, não vem aqui. Listen, eu avisei. Então não vale a pena me dizer, but no, you're being... No. I said, I fear for Zubamendi when he's getting pressed because James and Caicedo are going to press the hell out of Moreno. Listen, that red card was an absolute disgraceful, late, high-studded tackle on Zubamendi. Caicedo deserved to get sent off. Yeah, I rate Caicedo, but I'm sorry, you deserve that. So we're going to park that there. They got a player sent off. And what do? Not taking our chances. Saka, how many chances were you? We're going to get onto Estevan. Before we get onto Estevan performance, I'm sorry. Saka, how many chances did you have, yeah? Where all you needed to do is cross the ball, and this guy's skying it over the bar, sky high. Do you know what I'm saying? Sky high. Sail away with me. The ball just going through the bar. Mas que tipo de pucaria yes, bro? Come on. Where's the composure, meu? Porra! O jogador que é profissional não sabes controlar a bola, não sabes passar a bola. Cross the ball. Moreno's there. Your Cruz is there for the tap-in. What are you doing, bro? Man needs one of these brushes, bro. Go to boss man, get you one of these brushes, bro. Brushing up your head and actually put your head in the game, bro. It's not good enough, man. We could have been 7 points clear. Yes, we're still top of the league. Man City are second. Yeah, it is what it is. That's cool. But come on. How many more chances, Saka? Well done for the goal. Yeah, fair enough. Well done for the goal. Absolutely put Cucurella on his ass. Great cross. Moreno there, boom. But Moreno found himself in loads of positions like that where all you had to do, do you know what I'm saying? Caution it, bro. This guy's drifting on the left, do the skanky leg. Man playing like he's got Tourette's on his leg, bro. Have you got Tourette's on your leg? Rebenta bola, pa. Porra. Puta que pariu. Cross the ball properly, bro. Every shot's going over the bar, and that's not good enough. Yeah, it was a good assist, but come on, bro. What about the rest of the game? The Saka was frustrating today. Martinelli dropped back to the same old John Travolta, same old dirty dancing, bro. Come on, bro. Man got locked off, bro. Man got absolutely locked off. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. Even though we didn't play amazing, there was chances there. There was chances. Come on, I warned. Don't try to play through the middle. When you get the opportunity, you have to be fast with the passing, fast with the crossing. Frustrating. Moreno was better in the second half, but I'm sorry, not good enough. Declan Rice, normally dictating from deep. Today, I knew he wouldn't be able to drive with the ball, which is why I said, let's play direct ball straight over the top, bypass the midfield. They were doing the dark arts. When they went down to 10 minutes, like they still had 11 men on the pitch. Vamos ser sincero, let's just be on. Vamos ser honesto. It looked like they still did that. Come on, bro. We're getting pressed. They're still hitting us on the counter with 10 men. Meu Deus. Meu Deus. For this, the game was there for the taking. Yes, there was decisions there that I didn't agree with. Yeah, there was. Enzo slapping Mascara at the end should have been booked to that. Cucurella should have got flipping the amount of time he was on the pitch. He should have got about 6 yellows, bro. Throwing man onto the ground. Yeah, but it's the dark arts. It's the dark arts, and it is what it is. I ain't gonna complain about the ref. I didn't agree with a lot of the ref decisions. It is what it is. It is what it is. And ultimately, they were down to 10 men, bro. Porra! Not good enough, man. Not good enough. The way we were transitioning was slow. Madueke comes on, doesn't do anything. There was one good cross that he put in the box. Other than that, I didn't see anything. Right at the end, that cross into the box, Timber. Why did you get ahead to it, bro? Gyökeres would have buried that completely unmarked in the box. It was there for the taking. Ain't nothing more frustrating when you see a game and you're like, yo, esses são as oportunidades para matar o jogo. Esses são as oportunidades para matar o jogo. When you don't kill it off, it is frustrating. So like I said, I'm not angry. I'm frustrated, bro. É frustrante. Para ver essa merda, it's frustrante, bro. The energies were low. The way we transition was dead. It wasn't, bro. Gyökeres was there, bro. He was there. Why did we stop pressing Sanchez in the first half? At first, we started the game off high intensity. Both teams pressing, both teams going forward, going for it. And what did we do? Stop pressing Sanchez. Press that flipping Coco head, bro. Press that flipping skinny Vitalago flipping Vin Diesel, bro. Press him, but puta que pariu. Press that filo da puta, bro. Why did we stop pressing him? Press him into a mistake, bro. For this, puta que pariu. Why did we stop doing that? We were pressing well at the start of the game. Nah, bro. Nah. We were all their opportunities in the first half was going down Esteval, meu Deus. Meu Deus. Que porcaria of a performance, bro. That's why this man got subbed, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? That Barca hype got to his head. Stay humble, eh? Don't do it Yamin. Don't do it Yamal now start getting too gassed, bro. Focus on your game. Amazing game against Barca. But today, Esteval, pocket. How are you letting Calafiori pocket you like that? That's embarrassing. Then when he had opportunities in the box, over the bar, over the bar, over the bar, over the bar. Do you know what I'm saying? Rubbish, bro. Rubbish from Esteval. Some great last-ditch tackles today from Timber and Declan Rice. I will give those praises because they deserve that. Some of the last-ditch tackles that we done, that was good. Tá bom. Nesse aspecto, eu tô contente. Some of the last-ditch tackles we did well. But, bro, certain times our defense was looking shaky. We're looking rattled. Look, I understand Mascara and Henkape only come to the team. They did a decent job, but certain times, listen, Declan Rice and Timber really helped them out with some last-ditch tackles. On João Pedro. One of them was on João Pedro. I think it was the Declan Rice one where he slide tackled and got the ball off João Pedro. Well done, Declan Rice. But all in all, bro, we didn't show the... Do you know what I mean? We didn't show the intent. Look, I will give Arteta some praise. The fact that we took off, like he took off Zubimendi, brought on Ødegaard, but then the sazon, yeah, o tempero, you know what I'm saying? Umolio wasn't there. Like the final ball from Ødegaard was lacking. Saliba did well at times to read Ødegaard's passing when he was trying to link up with Gyökeres, but bro, it was frustrating. It was frustrating. I can't lie. It's frustrating. I'm not even, like I said, I'm not angry. I'm frustrated. The 3 points were there if we were a bit calmer with our delivery and if we were a bit more clinical. The opportunity to kill the game off was there, but we didn't do enough within the game. We didn't do enough. Let's just keep it real. We didn't do enough. Certain yellow cards for me were ridiculous. Henkape jumping up to win the ball. Sorry, yeah? You don't jump up like this. Yeah, we're not penguins. You don't jump up like this. You do use your arms as a natural movement. Both of them, Saliba and Henkape, both ball watching, and both are jumping up. Henkape's not just swinging his arm anywhere. He's swinging his arm within a reasonable distance to try and win the ball. It's momentum to go up to header the ball, and you get a yellow card. But like I said, bro. Like I said, certain yellow cards I didn't agree with. I ain't gonna cry about that. I'll touch on it. I ain't gonna cry about it. They were down to 10 men, and what did we do? The first half, we barely created anything to really get at them. This is what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying. That it's just frustrating, bro. Frustrating. But look, it is what it is. It is what it is. I feel like both teams didn't do enough to win. Both teams didn't do enough to win. Both teams didn't go for it and try to kill off the other team. So ultimately, neither can really complain about the result. None of us can really complain about the result. But I'm sorry, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? And the first half, yeah, I'm saying Eze to Saka in the box and he got a shot saved. Saka not being clinical enough. Moreno losing the ball. Chelsea on the counter, and that's what forces Rice to do the last-ditch tackle on Pedro Neto. Do you know what I'm saying? Rubbish. Zubimendi misplaced part. We didn't hold on to possession. Not only were we pressed, but when we had the ball, we didn't even make the most basic passes. We were struggling to make the most basic passes. It's poor, man. It's poor in that first half. Ødegaard in the box completely unmarked. Do you know what I'm saying? That could have been the 1-0 there. Completely unmarked. That can't be happening. At times in the midfield, it looked empty. We look too lightweight in the midfield sometimes. Frustrating, man. Frustrating. Do you know what I mean? Enzo through, Timber with the last-ditch tackle. Great last-ditch tackle to win the ball back. Do you know what I'm saying? Calafiori losing the ball to Reece James. Yeah, and then he fouls him. Like, you're not even aware that Reece James is there. Calafiori trying to run out from the back. He's not even self-aware that Reece James is there. Did you not watch the Barca game? Did you not watch the Barca game and see what Reece James and Caicedo did? And you're lucky. You're lucky you got saved by Timber, bro. This is what I mean, bro. We were just too relaxed, like this is going to be a walk in the park. I warned, man, that this game is not going to be easy, bro. Come on. Come on, frustrating, bro. Henkape sliding all over the place. Do you know what I'm saying? João Pedro almost scored that. Once again, Henkape caught sleeping. Calafiori caught sleeping. Come on, bro. Come on, man. It weren't good enough. There were opportunities there for Chelsea. Chelsea can argue the same thing. They had opportunities there catching us sleeping that they could have scored from. Ultimately, the draw is a fair result. But obviously, when we're trying to go for the league, it's frustrating. It's frustrating. I can't lie. It's frustrating, bro. That tackle from Caicedo on Mikel Moreno. Oh my god. Oh my god. Do you know what I'm saying? What are you doing, bro? But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. It's mad, bro. It's actually mad. You know what I mean? There was a good little counter-attack just before the second half between Rice and Eze, and they played Martinelli through. And to be fair, Sanchez did really, really well for that save. It was at the near post, but the way he got down real quick to save that was a very, 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 very good save. And that counter-attack, those little 1-2s playing out from the back from Rice and Eze, that was good build-up. And then the passing to Martinelli, unlucky, because that was actually a good shot, and Sanchez actually did really, really well to save that shot, to be fair to him. But then in the second half, you know what I'm saying? Chelsea with a free kick. João Pedro header got saved. Very good save from Raya. Have to admit, very good save from Raya. And then Chelsea get the corner. Saliba with the header. Declan Rice, you've got to do better than that. Por amor de Deus. Do you know what I'm saying? White boys can't jump. Do you know what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking when I saw that. I was like, yo, that movie, White Boys Can't Jump. That's what made me, bro, come on, Rice, man. Saliba, that was a very good header. Very good header. Do you know what I'm saying? Went all the way back to the near post. Very good header. Chelsea go 1-0 up. And all of a sudden, we're scrambling at the game. We're looking at the game frustrated. Martinelli getting opportunities in the box. Can't control the ball. Come on, man. Fuck, you know. This guy, bro. He's going back to the Martinelli from last year. From the last 2 years. Couldn't control the ball. This is what I said, bro. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Saka taking way too long to release the ball. Saka's so frustrating at times, man. When he does the right thing, it's great. But sometimes he just dabbles on the ball for so long. For this, Rebenta, just pass the ball, man. Or release the shot. Why are you holding on to it so long? It's frustrating, bro. It's frustrating. There was 3 points there for the taking. There was 3 points there for the taking, and we didn't take it. We didn't take it. You know? Then Saka drops a shoulder, cops Cucurella, puts it on the plate for Moreno. Great goal. But then after that, Saka returns back to the Saka that before the actual assist. Skying, shooting the ball over the bar. It's frustrating, bro. It's frustrating. Do you know what I mean? Rice to Saka, dead cross into Moreno, where he could have just been able to just put it on a plate, just literally tap it into the goal. Oh my days, man. The amount of opportunities that we had to score today that was down to Saka, and he was just not good enough. So if we're going to talk about Esteval not being good enough today, Saka also was lacking, bro. Saka was lacking. He could have got at least 2 assists today. At least. If he actually put some care and some actual direction into his crossing. Frustrating. Frustrating. Moreno with a shot. Gyökeres goes down. It was actually disgusting the way the Chelsea fans... Gyökeres had as much right to go for the ball as Sanchez. He's trying to get it on the rebound. You could see the Chelsea players were trying to get Gyökeres sent off. You could see they're trying to get him sent off. It is what it is. Yeah, you know I mean, it is what it is. The dark hearts. At the end of the day, Arsenal do it. I'm not going to complain when other teams do it. It is what it is. But at the end, Henkape with a cross and Timber getting in the way, Gyökeres would have just been able to just head cushion that into the back of the net. I was like, yeah, it's done. It's done. It's done. You know what I'm saying? And today it goes down to our lack. I have to be real. Eze today was absolutely shocking. Shocking from Eze, bro. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it because I'm all good for praising players when they do well, but bro, I'm sorry, man. Eze today, that was a disgraceful performance from Eze. Desculpa lá, mas foi uma desgraça. Vamos ser sinceros, vamos ser honestos, vamos falar. I'm sorry, not good enough. Not good enough, not good enough. The passing from Eze, I barely even saw him, bro. I barely saw him, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? I barely saw him. I didn't see him doing anything. If anything, when Ødegaard came on, I saw more from Ødegaard than I saw from Eze. And that's saying a lot. So, not good enough from Eze. I know you put a great performance against Bayern. I know you did a great performance in the North London derby. So, I'm not going to cook Eze because he has been turning up for us more times than not lately. But this performance here, I'm sorry, not good enough, bro. Not good enough. You need to, bro. I didn't see you, bro. Chelsea's press absolutely locked you off. We didn't see you dictate and play at all. Every counter-attack that we had in the first half, it was more Moreno dropping in deep or Zubamendi dictating from the middle, and both of them were failing at it in the first half. I did not even see you, bro. Did not see you. Sorry, not good enough, man. Rice, I needed more from Rice. I needed more from Rice, but there was a cross from Rice to Saka, and what did Saka do? Man, his cross went all the way back to I don't know. It went back to flipping. Do you know what I'm saying? Back to Fulham or something. I don't know, bro. It went to White Hart Lane. I don't know what he was doing. I don't know where the composure was. I don't know what you thought he was doing, bro. But absolutely crazy. I'm gonna put the link out. Chelsea fans, Arsenal fans get priority. If you got your camera on and you got your mic, then you can jump on. No camera, no mic. You're not allowed on. So that's the same rules for everybody. Do you know what I'm saying? But I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. Not good enough, man. Not good enough. For me, João Pedro didn't do enough. There was opportunities that João Pedro had that he could have made us pay for it, and he didn't. He took too long to control the ball in the box. When we made certain mistakes, the slip up from Henkape, he should have been a lot faster to it. It is what it is. Enzo wasn't that great from what I saw of Enzo. Pedro Neto, to be fair, Henkape and him, that was little 1v1s at times. What didn't really affect the game that much. Esteval probably had some of the best opportunities in the game, especially in the first half. Didn't do enough. Exactly why he got subbed off, and it just no composure. The same thing with Saka. Saka ended up getting an assist, but lack of composure. Do you know what I'm saying? Lack of composure. Cucurella got caught sleeping for that Saka assist for Moreno's goal. Saliba actually did some good interceptions from Ødegaard when he came on and he was trying to bop the ball around. He actually did some good interceptions. Yeah, I'm saying Reece James was pressing and getting the ball back well. Caicedo was definitely stopping our momentum and stuff, but just very, very silly for that red card that he got. Ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous high stud on Mikel Moreno. And Sanchez actually made some good saves. You know, there was 1 or 2 good saves. So Martinelli made a good save. You know what I'm saying? The header as well. So yeah, I think he did well. But bro, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Both teams have things to be frustrated at. Both teams, even Malo Gusto as well. Gusto did really well in the first half, sometimes pressing on that right-hand side and giving that service to Esteval. I think he did really well at his ball recovery. Malo Gusto did well in that sense, but both teams have things to be frustrated at. And I'm just a bit frustrated that it could have been a lot better. It could have been a lot better for us. The win was there. There was opportunities there. And we were just too laxy-daisy. We're just too calm. Not enough intensity in the way that we played. Do you know what I'm saying? Reece James was bossing it in the middle of the park as well, winning back the ball, transition with the ball well. Do you know what I'm saying? Pressing our midfield. Like, he did really well. Reece James did really well. But I expected this, which is why I said, before I put the link up, this is why I said, forget trying to play through the middle of the park with Chelsea. Go long over the top. How did we get the assist? A cross in the box. Crossing in the box, long balls. We needed Moreno to stay up there and be a target man. Hold the ball down and then bring Martinelli into the game. Don't try and transition through Martinelli where Gusto's going to be ready. James is going to be ready. Bro, it's a long day. James and Gusto on Chelsea's right-hand side going up against Martinelli is getting locked up. You know Martinelli ain't going to strive unless there's space in behind. There's no space there. And I don't know if the manager wanted to let Chelsea have this false sense of, you know, keep pressing us. But then if you're getting them to press, you need them long balls over the top to bypass the press and then hit them on the counter. Not trying to play up through the back with Zubimendi that's not press resistant. With Moreno, that the link-up play was diabolical today. Diabolical. My days. Let me put the link out, man. Let me put the link out because I'm disappointed, man. I'm disappointed. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm disappointed. On one hand, I can say, yo, do you know what? We did fairly well. Having Hincapié and Mascara as our centre-back pairing. Everybody knows that's not our starting centre-back pairing. Yeah, Calafiori wasn't getting ripped up by Esteval. Cool. But yeah, man, yeah, frustrating. Yo, what you saying, bro? Long time, man. What you saying?
Long time, bro. How are you doing?
I'm okay, man. Just frustrated, bro.
Yeah, I know the feeling, bro. I know the bad day at the office for us, man. Bad day at the office. We was not at the races today. There's no doubt about that. First half, 11 men or 11v11. Chelsea were the better side, no doubt about it. Even when they went down to 10 men, there was better side. And I think having to play Hincapié and Mascara together really affected us tonight. You could see that, you know, they've come in, they've done well individually when they've had to play with Saliba, but playing as a centre-back pairing together, they didn't look comfortable, bro. They did not look comfortable one little bit, and I think that affected Declan Rice's game as well. You could see that he was trying to do the defensive work a little bit more rather than trying to get forward like he normally does, especially when Zubimendi got booked in early on in the first half as well. And I think not having Declan Rice making them bursting runs through the midfield didn't help us either. Reece James was just on smoke today. You know, for all the talk about Caicedo versus Rice, Reece James was the best midfielder on the pitch, no doubt about it. And I think Chelsea played really well, no doubt about it. I just don't think we was at the races, mate, to be honest with you. You know, and can we put that down to the fact that You know, I don't like to make excuses, but we've played 3 big games in 7 days. You know, we played Spurs on Sunday, Bayern Munich on Wednesday, Chelsea today. That's 3 high intensity games, and there was a lot of players that were not there today. They were not there today. You know, Eze was terrible. His first touch was letting him down every single time. His second touch was a slide tackle, pretty much. Do you know what I mean? Marino was terrible. You know, I think Arteta got the substitutions right. I'll give him that. You know, I think taking off Calafiori and bringing on Skelly was what was needed because we didn't retain the ball anywhere near well enough in that first half.
Are you sure?
Eh?
Like, I think Calafiori coming off was the right decision, but for Skelly, nah.
Well, the thing with Skelly is you know that Skelly's decent on the ball. And I think in the first half, yeah, we just didn't retain the ball very, very well at all. So I think we needed to bring on players that can retain the ball a little bit better. I think we should have probably brought on Ødegaard a bit sooner. And you could see that when them players were on the pitch, we had more control of the game. However, it's all right having the ball, but it's about what you do with it. And I don't think we created anywhere near enough in that second half. You know, we didn't put Chelsea under anywhere near enough pressure. We didn't have anywhere near enough shots on goal and create enough chances in front of goal to warrant scoring 2 or 3 goals. You know, us getting the 1 goal was probably about right for the amount that we created. And I think Saka, he did okay, but you know, again, you're looking at Cucurella. He's on a yellow card from early, and I'm expecting Saka to, you know, kind of drive at him a little bit more and make him make another foul, try and get him sent off again. But there wasn't really the intensity in our game that I expected. And is that down to the fact that we played 3 big games in the space of 7 days? I don't know, you know. But the only thing we can hope and pray on is that Saliba is fit real quick, because these fixtures are coming thick and fast. You know, we've got Brentford midweek, and then we've got to go away to Aston Villa, which isn't going to be easy at the weekend. And then, of course, the fixture pile up over Christmas. And we really need these centre-backs back, because I think Mosquera and Hincapié were a massive problem for us. I mean, even like look at Chelsea's goal, for example, right? We're going at half-time, it's 0-0. They've gone down to 10 men. Me as the manager, and I'm pretty sure Mikel Arteta would have been saying this as well, you know, we're a man up, retain the ball, move the ball nicely. We will create chances. We don't have to rush ourselves. And then we come out, and 30 seconds into the second half, Hincapié is giving away a stupid free kick, which leads to the goal. It's like, what are you doing? And there was quite a lot of players today that I could sit there and say, what the fuck are you doing? Martinelli wasn't good enough.
But that's the thing, though. Zubimendi's not protecting him. Like, I'm not trying to take away responsibility from the centre-backs, but this is the first game that we've played Hincapié and Mosquera together. He's getting no protection. Declan's doing his best because he was receiving it from deep, and he was actually transitioning with the ball well from deep. He actually played well under their press. I think that needs to be stated, because Declan actually did all right under their press, and he wasn't giving away the ball. But then when you've got Zubimendi losing the ball, putting the centre-backs under pressure, when you've got Moreno dropping in deep into the midfield and losing the ball, putting them under pressure, you put your centre-backs under pressure. And that is why Declan saved us on one opportunity against Pedro. That's why Timber had to save us with the last-ditch tackle as well. Because
but then that comes back to what you said, though, Northside. You know, if you've got a midfielder there, who in Zubimendi, who's not press resistant. We know he ain't press resistant. Every time that guy gets pressed, he's. I mean, he got pressed against Tottenham. That led to the goal. I know it was a long range screamer and that, but we've seen that already this season. So then it's down to the manager to say, look, we can't play through this Chelsea midfield. Reece James is having an absolute fucking baller of a game. So you got to go over the top. Well, you can't go over the top to Moreno, because he's always looking to drop into midfield. So you need that guy who's going to run off the shoulder. So I'm surprised that he didn't either put Martinelli up front and let him run off the shoulder of the Chelsea defence, or bring on Gyökeres sooner, somebody who's going to run off the shoulder. I think, you know, bringing on Madueke, it's all right. I know it's his ex-club, and you kind of look at him to go, you know, come and do something against your ex-club. I thought he was shocking when he came on. He was terrible. He was terrible. He really was. So bad day at the office. Is there any reason to panic? Probably. I don't think so at this moment in time. But if we start to pick up results like this, it might well be, because, you know, I'm looking at this
It's already
team.
2 draws now. It's already
It's
2 draws, a loss against Liverpool. And this is what racks up, Brandon. 14 draws cost us the league last season.
It's true.
Not even
it's true.
But
the only thing that's given me a little bit of confidence, right?
Oh, no,
and
2 losses, sorry. 2 losses.
No.
It's 3
draws, 1 loss. Yeah.
Yeah.
Three draws, 1 loss. Yeah, but the only thing that's given me a little bit of confidence, and I don't know about the rest of you, and this has nothing to do with Arsenal, by the way, I don't see any other team that is consistent enough. Man City ain't consistent enough. Let's be honest, they was very, very lucky to beat Leeds the other day. Very lucky to beat Leeds the other day. I don't think Chelsea have been anywhere near consistent enough. I know everybody's bigging up Chelsea at the moment, but let's not forget, this is a club that drew to Carabao. This is a club that got smoked by Bayern Munich. This is a club that got smoked by a Man United team that's in the doldrums. Do you know what I mean? So I look at it and I think, okay, cool. We're going to have, you know, days like this where it's going to be a little bit of a bad day in the office, but we've got to pick ourselves up for Brentford midweek, and we've got to go and get the 3 points, and we've got to get the 3 points against Aston Villa. You can't have too many days like this. You're absolutely right, Northside, because like you said, 14 draws cost us the league last season. However, at the moment, I'm looking around the league and I'm thinking nobody else is anywhere near consistent enough. But the key thing is we need to get our centre-backs back. We need to get Gabriel and Saliba back into this team. And then it's down to the manager. I mean, at the end of the day, I think we all agree here, Arteta spent over £1 billion. We can look at that squad now and say that squad is more than good enough to go and win this league. More than good enough to go and win this league. So there's no excuses for the guy. You know, it's down to him to get the best out of them on a regular basis to make sure we go and win this league.
The only thing, Brandon, yeah, I get what you're saying, that you're saying everybody else is not consistent enough. And big up to Lee and everyone that's joined from Lee's raid, yeah? Big up to everyone. And big up to everyone already in the chat. Make sure you're liking and subscribing on the road to 20K. Do you know what it is, though? Everyone's still within touching distance. That's my worry. So as much as we can say everybody's not being consistent enough, Man City only 5 points. That's a 2-game swing, bro. A 2-game swing, and all of a sudden we're back in it. And we're still early in the season. Do you know what I mean? And that's the worrying thing, that we give ourselves a bit of a cushion, and then we allow teams to bridge that distance again and still be within touching distance. And
I see what you're saying.
That it's like we don't.
I see what you're saying, but let me give you another perspective. Yeah, we've played Man United away, we played Chelsea away, we played Liverpool away, we played City at home, we've played Tottenham at home, and by the end of the weekend coming up, we would have played Aston Villa away as well. So coming into the new year, we've only really got to play City away and Spurs away. The rest of them are at home. And our home form is very, very good this season. And it's kind of become a little bit of a fortress down at the Emirates. So you would hope that getting all these tough away fixtures out of the way and still being 5 points clear at the top, let's just say, you would say that I would put us into good stead in the new year. I would hope, you know, considering.
I hear you, but the problem is when everyone else around you is, like, for example, City, we know them to be slow starters. Liverpool are falling apart. Chelsea are way too inconsistent to think about a title. Like, this is where, like, setting up with 3 DMs at Anfield can slap you in the face. This is where not attacking City more when we were at home, that can slap you in the face. This is where playing the way you did against Sunderland, that can cost you. That was where small moments, yeah, the substitutions that we made, big up Lee. This is where moments, yeah, like, I don't mind Calafiori coming off at half time, because Chelsea, cool, they had 10 men, yeah. Why not go bring on Gyökeres at half time for Calafiori? You'd have Gyökeres, Marino there. You can bring on Ødegaard as well. So you have Gyökeres, Marino, Eze, Ødegaard. Like, go and attack. If we're going to give Arteta credit for the substitutions that helped us beat Bayern, we can absolutely criticize him for the substitutions that helped cost us against Chelsea. And you know what, yeah? I'll give Chelsea a bit of credit, because they handled the red card really well. And honestly, I don't think it's a red personally, but when you make a tackle like that, never, ever give the referee... No, that's an
you know I
orange.
don't like to
It's an
complain
orange.
about refs in that, yeah, but bro, it's a red.
It's a red,
straight
bro.
red.
It was a red all day. It's a
Bro,
red, bro. It's
It was a red, bro. It was a
It was
red.
a red.
Look, even the Chelsea fans, none of them in the chat have been saying, "No, it's not a red," or
Bro,
"No,
it's a red."
that was a disgrace."
The
It
thing
was-
He didn't even
Well,
go,
let-
bro.
let-
He didn't go
there
for
is-
the ball, man. He didn't go
Let's
for
just
the
be
ball.
honest
He
as well,
just
right?
does.
Let's just
It
be
was a
honest
red.
as well, right? Anthony
It
Taylor.
was above the ankle, bro. And it's
Yeah,
high.
it was a red card. It was a red card all day long.
It was a red card.
That's more
Anthony
an orange card.
Taylor lost control of that game anyway, because
Yeah.
you look at that first yellow card that he handed out, right? It was for stupidness, really. He's got to understand the occasion and the fact that it's a London derby and both teams are going to be sort of flying into tackles a little bit more, and that as soon as you give that foul for a yellow card, ultimately you've got to continue it on, and that's why you end up with like 4, 5, 6 yellow cards. And in the end, really, it ruins the game a little bit, because then you've got the likes of Zubamendi on a yellow card for something that maybe could have got away with not being a yellow card, and then he can't play his game that he needs to play. And it's the same for a few other players, but I thought Chelsea were better.
Like,
I'm not
if you're
gonna lie.
gonna give,
There's different types of pressure, yeah. As much as we can say, oh, Chelsea this, Chelsea that, at the end of the day, yeah, ultimately, the red card for me, nullifies all the other bad decisions, because they're a man down. They're a man down. Because everything else, we're talking about yellows. Arguably, you could say that Cucurella deserved a couple more yellows for some of the tackles that he made and throwing players around. Cool. You could say that. But at the end of the day, we had the numerical advantage. Yeah.
correct.
And my thing is this, yeah. We beat the look, Tottenham, it's not really a test, it's just putting them in their place. Respectfully, that's what it is. Yeah. But still, you still got to go there. You still got to go there. You still got to get the points. Yeah. But it is what it is. Bayern was a huge test for a different reason, because they've been a bogey team in Europe for years. One of them anyway, because there's many, but one of our biggest ones historically. Do you know what I'm saying? So that was a test of breaking that hoodoo and also stepping up in a Champions League game of that magnitude where we haven't been able to get over the line. Today was to show mentality in the Premier League that even when the game isn't going for us, in a must-win game, yeah, against a London rival that's been more successful than us in the last 20 odd years, that we can still win the game regardless. And we didn't, bro. We failed this test today. Let's just keep it real. Let's not shy away from it. Today was a pressure game, but it was a pressure game for a different reason in comparison to Chelsea, to Bayern. And we failed. And what is the biggest thing that we criticize this team? When the pressure is on. And why I'm upset is because, right, cool. You guys didn't turn up today because you knew Chelsea were in form. They slapped up Barcelona. They're going into the game with confidence. They now moved into second. These are all mental things where you're like, yo, okay, well, you got to step up now. Do you know what I'm saying? Because what, are we going to let these guys to creep up? No, we need to be able to put them back down and make sure, yo, we're going to keep bridging the gap. We kind of bottled that. And also, like, it's not just about the subs, yeah? It's not just about the subs, bro. Change the tactic. You're seeing that these balls into Madueke. You're doing the same thing with Madueke that you did with Martinelli. But it's getting locked up by Reece James and Gusto, bro. So change it. And I said this before the game, yeah? And everybody that watched the show knows, yeah? When I did the preview with Lewis, make sure you're subscribing to Carefree Lewis. I said, if you try to play through the middle against Chelsea, we'll fail. If you try and play through the wings, they'll lock you up. And that's what they did, bro. Yeah, that's what they did. They frustrated Saka. They locked up Martinelli. Madueke, they nullified him. To be fair, Madueke had about 2 good crosses. That was, unfortunate. Yeah. But other than that, bro, they locked us up. So that's why I said, use Martinelli as a target. Use Moreno as a target, man, to bring the ball. Let him be up there. Don't drop in deep. Yeah. And then let him link up with the wingers. Let them invert and then try to get in behind. We didn't do that. So as much as I can say, yes, Arteta, cool. I'm happy that you took off Zubamendi. You saw he was having a bad game and you brought on Ødegaard. Cool. But it was still much of a muchness because tactically, Ødegaard was trying to play through the middle, bro. And then Chalobah's intercepting the passes. Do you get me? It's not going to work. You needed to change the system. The approach is what needed to change. And we didn't change that. We still tried to bop the ball around, thinking that because we had another number 10 on the pitch, that we'll break them down. I knew we wasn't going to do that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Brother.
Kawaja, man. What you saying, bro? Mason Kawaja, whoever wants to go. You know what I'm saying? What you guys saying, bro?
I would like to say about I was going to say something about the result today. And yeah, I have like the Caicedo, like the challenge from Moreno and from Caicedo. I agree. I think that should be a red card. And I
All
mean,
day.
Caicedo, like, what was he doing? I just don't understand why he put his foot out on on Moreno's like on his like bottom of his leg. Like, what was that all about? And listen, I rate Caicedo. He is a baller for Chelsea, but today, one foolishness from you and you're off. But Anthony Taylor today, I think he was a bit like all over the place because he should be sending off like he was supposed to like keep the like he was supposed to be giving players red cards when, like, for example, Cucurella, the amount of times he kept pushing Saka and Timber, I'm sorry, he has to be sent off. I don't understand why Taylor didn't like get his red card down. But listen, all in all, Taylor, even though he is on our side, as the top gooners would say, I'm still a bit disappointed that we drew today against 10 men. It's just so embarrassing. We should be annihilating Chelsea because Lee Gunner and Troops, they put out their predictions for the match tonight. Lee said he wanted 4-1 Arsenal. I agreed with that. Even I wanted us to beat Chelsea 4-1. But the amount of times Chelsea were coming forward down our left-hand side, and Calafiori today, he absolutely pocketed Esteval. All the hype from his performance against Barcelona was like all down the drain. So big up to Calafiori for keeping Esteval out of the match. But I was a bit shocked when Arteta took him off for Skelly. Skelly, for me today, he was embarrassing. Like the amount of times Gusto and some like another left side player, they were targeting his side. I just don't understand what was the need to bring Skelly on. Calafiori, even though I don't rate him, he's more than willing to keep any left-sided Chelsea player out of the match. So I don't understand why Arteta took him off. But I'm happy he took Zubimendi off and Martinelli off. But why didn't you put Saka on the left wing? He was struggling on the right wing. So why didn't you put Madueke on the left wing? Like put Saka on the left and bring Madueke on the right to try and shift things around. But instead, this manager leaves Saka on the right wing, and for whatever reason, Saka continues to he kept skying the ball twice. Can you imagine that? He skied the ball twice. Like what kind of performance was that from Saka? And Mikel Moreno as well. Apart from the goal, he was shocking as well. The amount of times his passing was so poor today. Like Chelsea were very clever to intercept Moreno's passing, and their fans are saying now that they're very happy with the draw today. I was a bit surprised that they said that they were happy with the draw, but there was one player that I had to pick out, and that was Robert Sanchez. The amount of saves he was making, he was looking like prime David De Gea, bro. The save from Martinelli, the save from Saka, boy. Like this, Robert Sanchez has been a bit sus at goal this season, but today he really kept Chelsea in the match. And for me, like I'm still in shock that we drew, and that's 3 points dropped of us because now the pressure is now on Man City, because even though they had a stinky performance against Leeds, but they were able to come out of that match 3 goals to the good. Man City are still in the position of circling like the Sharks. So we have to beat Brentford and Villa now, because if we play the same way that we played today, then those teams can take advantage of that, and they could capitalize on our mistakes. So all in all, I'm happy. All in all, I am still disappointed by the draw, but I was a bit happy when we got the equalizing goal. There was no celebration, because every time our player scores an equalizer, they always celebrate and they do all this stupid stuff. So I'm happy when Moreno got that equalizer, he didn't even celebrate. He was just doing all of this, and he was telling the Arsenal fans to Like, come on, let's go. And he ran all the way back to the halfway line. That is what I need to see when it comes to an equalizer, not this whole celebrating. You know what I mean? I remember when Declan Rice scored an equalizer against Manchester United, he was doing all of this to the United fans. Like, you can't, like, that for me is embarrassing. So today, that equalizer from Moreno, when he was running all the way up to the halfway line, that is what I need to see from Arsenal. But apart from that, I'm disappointed with the draw. We should never have drew that game to a Chelsea side who are down to 10 men. But I'm still not confident now about the Brentford game on Wednesday and the Aston Villa game on Sunday. So in a 12:30 kickoff, I think. So
Look, Khwaja, you go next then.
Well, I totally agree with that. I totally agree with what Macy said, because if you look at the way we were playing today, for first half, I thought Chelsea could have scored. I mean, Esteval, I don't know what he did. I mean, he's blazed it over the bar. I mean, I don't think Esteval was that great. It's just the fact that defensively we were all over the place. Hincapié was all over the place. Mosquera. I mean, the amount of hype that our fan base was saying, apparently we have squad depth and all this shit, but let's be real with it. It's not squad depth. I mean, I don't blame them. It's their first start as a centre-back partnership in the Premier League. I don't think they were that bad, but in the second half they did all right. But we were lucky to get out there with a draw, Macy. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean, a draw. I can't take that. I mean, some of the fan base are going to say to us, oh, but it's only a draw with 5 points. Well, guess what? If Manchester City beat Fulham on Tuesday, they are 2 points behind us, which means that Brentford game is under huge pressure for us again. And if Chelsea win, they are 3 points behind us. If we do not beat Brentford at home and we draw, then that Aston Villa game is going to be such a huge game for us. And the way we played today, next away match is Aston Villa. And if we play like that against Aston Villa, we are going to absolutely get annihilated. We're going to get destroyed. I don't care. Because the way Aston Villa are playing right now, they were rocked bottom at the table, no goals scored, and they're now third in the table. Unai Emery's transformed them. Right? We cannot play like that away anymore. I'm sick and tired of this manager's subs. Why on earth did you not bring on Nwaneri? He sat on the bench, just sat on the bench, just bored. You could have brought on Nwaneri, subbing off Eze for Nwaneri, but no, he decided to bring on random subs. Let's be real, the subs were rubbish. But everyone's going to go, but Saka's got an assist. He's got an assist. And everyone's now going to be saying,
can you guys hear me?
He got an assist.
Yeah,
What
we can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sorry,
What the hell did he do? The guy was so selfish. Every single time he has the ball, I'm like, bro, put the ball in the box. Why are you shooting? Bruv, put every single ball in the box. Put the balls in the box. Why are you wasting your time? Why are you shooting? Put the balls in the box. Let our attackers attack. But no, we just slowed the game down. And the reason why we slowed the game down is because Arteta bought Ødegaard and we slowed the game down. I just felt boring. It was so boring. And I'm like, what the hell did Ødegaard do? The guy is a scrub. We don't need to do this. He could not even pass a ball. The amount of times he gave the ball away. How many times he gave the ball away? I don't know, like maybe 20 times he gave the ball away, something like that. The guy does not offer fuck all. The guy is terrible. And the amount of times that I've been seeing Ødegaard, he did nothing against Bayern. He did nothing against Chelsea. Let's not talk about the Spurs and Bayern Munich results, because that's real. That's gone. That's gone under the carpet. I mean, we've got Brentford and Aston Villa. Those are the two games we have to win. Yeah, Manchester City are still in this title race, whether anyone likes it or not. I don't want to see Fuad coming here and telling us, oh, but look, we're going to win the league. Well, how is it looking now? We're dropping points in the crucial moments. None of our players can turn up in the big games. Trossard is one of our most important players, and we miss Trossard. He's a clutch player, and he turns up. What did Saka do when it really matters? He ghosted again. Where was Ødegaard when it really matters? He ghosted again. Like, what are we doing here? How on earth can you tell me that we're supposed to be happy with a point at Stamford Bridge, yet we should have lost that game. They had 10 men and they still attacked. We're supposed to be winning the game. We had a man advantage and we still could not score. We slowed the game down. We just lost the ball so many times. We did nothing with the ball. And let's be real, we just have to settle for the point, and it is what it is, man. I'm sick and tired of it, man. Like, when is Saka ever gonna get dropped? When is like Madueke not starting a chance or something like that? Why did Gyökeres not come in at half time? Or Jesus? You could have given Jesus a chance, surely. But no. I'm sick and tired of it, North, man. I've never been confident with Lego Head winning the league, man. And yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
Do you know this comment here before I let Yasser and Josh go? Those random subs were Gyökeres, Ødegaard, and Madueke. Just because you're angry doesn't mean be selective with the tree. First of all, none of us here are angry. It's called disappointment.
I can't hear.
Two different words. Yeah, it's disappointment because we believe that this team could have played better. It's all great making subs, but when you make subs and tell them to do exactly what the other players are doing, then it's just like for like. There's no tactical awareness behind it. Madueke didn't offer anything that Martinelli wasn't already offering.
Can you hear?
Gyökeres came on and didn't do anything that I didn't see Moreno already doing.
I can't hear him.
And that's the problem, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? So Ødegaard came on, and yeah, he was bopping the ball around more because he's more of a natural number 8, but it was still bad passes. It was still losing the ball, helping Chelsea hit us on the transition. So the problem is this: it's not just the substitutions. You have to have ideas behind the substitutions. A difference in game plan, not just make substitutions and then, oh, well, just keep doing what we keep doing and we just keep bopping the ball around. No, how are you going to change how are they going to impact the game? What tactically are you offering different? And there wasn't any. It was just bring on some of the attackers, go for the win, which I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind, but actually have a different game plan in breaking down that the Chelsea team. But we didn't. We're still trying to play through the middle. We're still trying to aimlessly spam crosses. And ultimately, we dropped the points. Yasser, go on, bro. I know, you know what I mean. And then Yasser, then Josh. What are you saying, Yasser, bro? What's your thoughts on it?
Bro, listen, I'm disappointed in it because obviously I wanted to win the game. You know what it is about me, yeah? I'm annoyed in it because, brother, like for me, obviously some people are saying, yo, it was 10 men. Do you know what I'm saying? It's calm, like whatever, like you got the point, and like we were the better team. Like there's positives there, innit? But my thing is, and I'm telling everyone in the chat as well, yeah, no one really on the panel, but mostly in the chat, don't disrespect my club, fam. Because if you were supposed to slap me or slap the club and all that, why didn't you do it today, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? Because they keep telling me my defense is rubbish, my goalkeeper's rubbish, this guy's rubbish, this guy's rubbish. 10 men and you couldn't beat the team, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? Like Josh will tell you, like we've gone to Anfield and went man to man with them, even last season. He will tell you, like this whole thing about you man can beat, bro. We're not Spurs, bro. That's the thing that annoyed me the most this week, bro. Everyone telling me about 4-0, we're slapping you 5-0 at my home, you know. 4-0 Chelsea. You're gonna beat Chelsea 4-0 when you can't attack. What are you saying?
I said quickly to interject on that point, yeah. Other than Nottingham Forest, Chelsea gave us the hardest game at home last season.
Yeah, like, and we didn't even expect to have that at the time. Like, remember, like we turned up and we're like, okay, cool, this is what we can do, kind of thing. Yeah.
And don't forget.
We had told you on the channel yesterday, telling us 4-1. I had man on like troops screaming 3-1 and that. Even Lee was saying the mad thing, oh, we're gonna slap them, don't worry. I'm thinking, like, where does this come from though? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because obviously there's a couple of you like North and that said, yo, you still got to go there, do the job. Obviously, on the day, you never really know what happens. Cool, we had the red card. Like, before the red card, we were better than you, man. Even after the red card, we were better than you. Do you get what I'm saying? We just didn't really take our chances before the red card. Second off, it just went... Second off, bro, even when you like kept crossing the ball in, I was not really worried, innit? Like, because I know that with Fofana at centre-back, and even at then, Chalobah was my better centre-back. Do you get what I'm saying? Caicedo kind of messed the game for us, and he messed the game up for us, bro. Because at that point, there was no point. Like, there was no reason for you to get a red card there, and even going in the way he was going in. But like, I don't get, like, for me, I was telling everyone, even a draw is a loss to me, innit? And I'm not going to change that now because it was a great performance. Even though I think the team performed well, we didn't really crumble. Do you get what I'm saying? We could have even conceded at the end, you know, the Timber one. We could have conceded that, and I think the goalkeeper played really well. Like, but there's aspects in it. But like looking at the game in general, like all I'm saying is, yeah, don't ever talk to me like I'm Spurs again. Do you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, bro. Because that's the one thing that annoyed me the most. And you can come here, but you've seen the things that either Northside, me, or other people been saying, whether it's on other panels or here. Some of you, man, just rate the players more than you actually think they are, innit? And I think just because you slap some other teams doesn't always mean you're just gonna slap the next team. Do you get what I'm saying? It doesn't really work like that. Because you know, no one expect to lose or draw against Sunderland. Do you get what I'm saying? You go there, you still have to do the job. Yeah, so all of a
That's what I
sudden,
said to Lewis, bro. That's what I said to Lewis when Lewis told me what Lee says. You know, on the internet, bro, they love to say because we think alike on many things. They're like, yo, and I said, yo, I can't co-sign that. That's I'm not co-signing that. You know what I said? I can't agree to that because I never felt like all I said is like, yo, we can beat you, and there was opportunities there for us to beat you. Yeah, but at the same time, I was like, if we beat you, I look at it more like a 2-1. I don't think we're gonna slap you lot because I know you guys were going to set up the way you set up against PSG in the final and the way you set up against Barcelona.
the way we set up against the big teams. Yeah. Because we have that certain way we put Reece James in midfield. Yeah, and I spoke about this. We put Gusto out wide and stuff like that. Yeah, 100%.
And I said, yo, like that partnership of Reece James and Caicedo in the midfield is mad thing. And the thing is, you got Caicedo sent off and you still nullified us to very few chances. Do you know what I'm saying? I was like, it's not gonna happen, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? And Reece James, what a performance. But then again, kind of used to seeing Reece James performing like that in the middle of the park anyway.
But now it's a thing where it's like, you know, it's becoming a thing, yeah, where first they're saying how long is he gonna be fit for, then they're telling me now they're saying to me he's a DM, he's not a right back, so you can't compare him to right backs. Yeah, just so that they can squeeze their favorite player in. That's what's going on. Like that's what's happening now, isn't it? But at the end of the day, look, Reece James had an amazing performance in midfield. People were saying man of the match. I think him, Chalobah, and my man at the back, the goalkeeper, bro, they special shout outs to them. You know me, and I don't really like Sanchez, but when he performs like this, and I was telling people that's what he did against Spurs as well. This whole crossing thing, like recently, Sanchez he's been doing the right thing when it comes to claiming it or leaving it and the defenders getting them. So I was only really worried about what we would do wrong, innit? And like we seen today, we managed to get a red card. I think without the red card, it allowed us to keep the ball further up the pitch, which didn't really happen in the second half, innit? Do you know what I'm saying? João Pedro faded away more and more. He didn't really take his chances. I think he was poor, but then even when the lap came on, I think he was poor. But then again, there was no one for him to keep the ball up there. Do you get what I'm saying? So even if he held it up, there was not really a lot of players unless they all started running forward, didn't it? And I feel like that was the chance for some of you to show us that, yo, we can attack and go forward. I don't necessarily think the manager subs were that bad. I think he bought the Gyökeres guy on, he bought Ødegaard on. It's not like, because we know how usually is, isn't it? Man will just start bringing in like centre backs and that. Do you know what I'm saying? So for him to kind of start bringing players that can do better things going forward, that's fair, but you still need to be able to create individually as well, innit? I think Saka, the cross from Saka, oh bro, I can't really say Cucurella's fault, but then again, maybe we blocked it. But for me, that was Fofana, innit? You shouldn't have left Marino where you did at the time. And yeah, your whole backline had yellows, blood. Do you know what I'm saying? Anyone could have got it at that day. Do you know what I'm saying? I just got a message in one of these groups telling me, yo, you lot's goal shouldn't have stood, yeah, it was offside. My brother is a corner. He's interfering with the goalkeeper or with Winka. Brother, I'm like, no one cares, man. Keep it stepping. Like, you lost or you draw, whatever it is. Like, for me, it's a loss. You get me? And I feel like when you come with, because this is the thing, yeah, there's two things that's based on predictions. You either predict what you actually think is going to happen or you predict what you hope is going to happen, innit? This is the thing a lot of people need to start telling us now, because this whole thing about we're slapping you or whatever, we need to know whether it's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? Are you doing it for the chat or are you doing it because you believe it? Because, bro, it just doesn't make sense, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? It don't make sense. We have one less clean sheet than you before the game. So, like, as bad as you think our defenders were, we're not as bad as you think. That's one. Two, Fofana's back. I know if you watched him against Barca, you watched him before that as well. Remember, I used to tell you the most of the season that, yo, when we have one of them back at least, That it's just those two rubbish centre backs together is what's killing us, isn't it? Midfield, we already knew about. Okay, maybe I didn't think Esteval was going to start. I thought he was going to start Neto, Garnacho, and then bring them on. I think maybe the manager could have bought on Palmer around 80th minute, and then that would have been a bit different. But I think for him, he was kind of going for the draw, and I think that's the bit that maybe I'm a little bit disappointed about in that aspect, yeah. But maybe he just didn't want to take too much risk going forward and ended up losing. Do you get what I'm saying? I think with the current circumstances as a manager, you could say, cool, maybe you just wanted to keep it safe and just keep it moving, bro. Like, and look, for me, performance-wise, like I said, I think it's a great performance from a team base, but like for me, I'm more disappointed in the results, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? I'm more disappointed in the results, and I think from an Arsenal perspective, you should have just, bro. You should either be, you didn't look better than us before we got the guy sent off, and not after. You know what I mean? So which doesn't make sense, innit? And that, I'm telling you, that should be alarming, bro, because even with all those players on, I don't think you really created anything. Do you get it? Like, as in, yeah, a couple of crosses, but when they're all getting cleared, what are you? Because remember, even the throw-ins, the Declan Rice throw-ins, and those free kicks. Essentially, imagine all Chelsea fans are sitting there. Like I was with like Jimmy and that. We're just sitting there. We're not even stressed about the crosses. Like you're supposed to be low-key scared about Arsenal's crosses and that. Do you get it? Because they can go in and that, but it's only one, and we were like, oh, okay, cool. Let's see what we can do after that. So you need to expect more. And Brentford's not an easy game. Josh will tell you. You know what I'm saying? I played them. I know how they are. The ball's going to be bouncing everywhere, bro. Do you know what I mean? And they have the front line to attack. And Villa's another problem as well. Their midfield's not something you mess about. And it's something that you said before I end it as well, yeah? Brother, that Zubamendi, remember they were telling you he's better than Partey? Bro, it's crazy, bro, because he was getting the ball. Because remember, in this kind of team that we like, the way we press on that, you're not getting that much time on the ball. Like Zubamendi is good when he gets a lot of time on the ball, and he wasn't getting a lot of time on the ball, and then we were just losing it. And we're hitting you on the counter. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think we just never created enough chances. I think Esteval didn't take his chances when he had some. Do you get what I'm saying? And then being hooked at halftime is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not really putting that much pressure on the kid. You know me as well. I've been saying just bring him off the bench at this point, innit? So I think he just wanted to reward him for what he did against Barcelona. But I think especially when you get someone like a Caicedo sent off, I think if you got an Enzo sent off, you can work your way around it. But if we get like someone like a Caicedo sent off, like with his importance to our team, yeah, it's different. I think as from a Chelsea perspective, you think, okay, cool, like, he was our most important player. Now we ain't got him right now. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a bit different in that aspect, but we still managed to get through it. Do you know what I'm saying? We just managed to get through it. So for me, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, 100%. But do you remember when I told you, but quickly before we'll get Josh's thoughts, do you remember when I told you, if you take a leaf out of the book of Sunderland and Bayern, the things that they did well, and Sunderland absolutely cooked us in that first half with the press. You see how we couldn't live with your press in that first half? I told you this team is the only midfielder in this team that's press resistant is Rice. He's the only one that was getting out of that press comfortably. The rest of them were struggling. And that says a lot, yeah, because I like Rice, but I wouldn't say he's the most technical player.
I wouldn't say he's press resistant either, but I think he done really well, like in this game. Like I think in this game he not really well, but I think he done well, like defensively, innit? Remember he had that chance he blocked.
He did well, bro. Because there was even a time where he almost lost control, but his passing, he was actually executing his passing a lot faster, and he was releasing the ball. Do you know what I mean? He knew that he couldn't do those runs that he did against Bayern, the runs he did against Atletico Madrid, the runs that he's been doing recently through that midfield. But one thing he was doing well is when he was receiving the ball in the half turn, he's releasing it faster. Do you know what I'm saying? He realizes I'm not going to take on 2-3 players. And I'm cool with that. Just do the basics. Do you get me? You're not losing possession, bro. So that's cool with me. That's why I said he was comfortable getting pressed, because he was already just bopping the ball, just releasing it fast. And that's something I think that he's actually learnt with time. Where Zubamendi is receiving the ball, thinking he can take on a player, then he's mispassing the passes, playing it behind players that are already making a run. Do you know what I'm saying? Moreno as well, with his back to goal, like he's not realizing, anticipating that Reece James is pressing the hell out of him, winning the ball back. Do you get me? It's like they're not understanding their limitations.
The two things that we picked up, yeah. Sunderland, it was cool. You never created as much chances at the time, yeah. when you had to face a team that was very good structural or whatever, yeah. Then you also had the whole Bayern game. You know what I took from the Bayern game? They only took 2 crosses to kill you, like if you can. And you saw that Sanchez kept crossing it to Esteban. They were. I never thought that he was thinking that maybe Esteban could take him on 1v1, but I think the main point is that they wanted to. I think the manager wanted to catch Calafiori out of position, which meant you get that spacing behind. Remember when Kimmich got it on the right and then he just whipped it in the box and the car
Yeah. Exposed us straight away.
When they went direct, they managed to get the goal. I think we didn't go as direct.
Even Gnabry almost had like a flying kick. He always fly kicked it into the goal, bro. He just misconnected it. He was 1v1 with the keeper. One ball over the top.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So there are places that you got. And bro, we've said this as well when it comes to your squad depth in defense, yeah? We never knew whether these two can play together. This Zubamen, what was his name? The Hincapi and Mosquera guy can play together. We didn't know this. So yes, they can be good individuals, but can they work as a partnership? Not just them. Can Gabriel work with? We know that Gabriel can work with Mosquera in the beginning of the season. We saw that, but can Hincapi work with this guy? Can he? And you don't really know. So putting all your hopes on that. And today you had the test where both of them are out. Yeah, Saliba and Gabriel. So it's a different kind of test. I think that's also a thing where I'm a bit more disappointed from that aspect that we didn't use that to our advantage. Yeah, but those are the things that you see in it, and I feel like you're there. From an Arsenal's perspective, you could have taken advantage of us being 10 men down, but we didn't see enough. Like there was not enough threat to say, yo, usually I know that some people are saying, yo, 10 man down, it's harder to play against 10 man down. You know how to do it like that. But you could have still. He didn't create. Not bro. I think was Martinelli the only chance that I remember in the first half. Was that second half?
Yeah. The first half we didn't create.
That's it. Like we were calm, and I feel like that's when I thought, yo, maybe that Esteval shot that he missed, and maybe like the João Pedro thing that happened on the right, maybe that could have been something that we could have scored. Do you get it? Like one of those. But I still think that we need to create more, and I feel like hopefully we'll see that in the future, innit? But yeah, man, this is the game that I wanted to win, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, it is what it is. Do you know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I've seen man telling me go win the league. Man are telling me in the chat go win the league then,
Yeah, but you know what? The pressure's not on your club, it's on my club, because my club's the one that's been 21 years without a major, you get it? So this is the reality as Arsenal fans, bro. Like the pressure's on us, not on them. Do you know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. Yo, Josh, what's your thoughts, bro? As a Liverpool fan, what's your thoughts on this game, bro? As a neutral.
I'm not gonna lie, I thoroughly enjoyed the game. It was an excellent game of football. It was super entertaining. Loads of drama. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I have to say this, man. I'm not gonna lie to you. Chelsea are actually really good. They're actually really good. I think people sleep on Chelsea because of the fact you still got Pep Guardiola at Man City. We won the league last year, and obviously Arsenal are they're there or thereabouts. So people just forget about Chelsea. But you see, they're doing all of this right now. They're 4 points behind Arsenal? Is it 4 points or 5 points?
5 points.
5 points behind Arsenal, doing all of this with no Cole Palmer, their best player. And look, with all due respect, 6 points behind Arsenal. They're doing all of this without Cole Palmer. And I'll be real, I rate Maresca as a manager, but he's not a top manager in world football. So imagine if you just take Maresca out of the equation and you bring in a better manager. Think about what this young Chelsea side will be able to do. It's actually kind of scary when you think about it. And I think I think they're maybe a couple of years away from potentially dominating English football again. Because once these players all hit their peak and stuff, yeah, maybe they need to they'll definitely swap their goalkeeper, maybe get more of a stable centre back. They're not far away from like dominating English football again, because like that they're doing really well. Just generally speaking, yeah, for Arsenal, I just thought they didn't look like their normal self. They looked a little bit rattled. Like Chelsea were really good with 10 men as well. They were great with 11 men, but I was surprised how well they played with 10 men. Once they went down to 10 men, I just saw like I was thinking back to the Manchester United game when Chelsea went away to Man United. They got us early sending off, and then the manager took off all of his attacking options, and then went to basically 3 at the back, ultra defensive, and then ended up losing the game anyway. So, but his game management was really good. I thought the players fought really well. They still made things difficult. They scored a goal that they deserved. And it wasn't surprised that Arsenal equalised, but at the same time, I don't think they created enough, considering the fact that Chelsea were down to 10 men. That's the one thing I would say. They need to, like, I'll be real. You say Bukayo Saka's your star boy, man. Like, he's only scored one goal outside of London. He had an Oyster card today. He couldn't find the back of the net. I don't know what that's all about, man. But yeah, no, I don't really have much else to add to that. I think Yasser and you guys have broken it down really well. But I think a lot of credit has to go to Chelsea, because I think, given the circumstances and given the how well Arsenal are playing, I think this is a massive, massive point. And actually, one more thing, yeah. Before I let Rashid take over or whoever take over, the only winner in this game is actually Manchester City, because this is the stuff that they love. They don't really care if they're at top of the league or wherever, right? As long as they're within touching distance, I think they're still gonna be able to cause teams problems. Because once it comes to April, May time, that's when March, April, May time, yeah, that's when City come alive, man. Still, the only team that's won the league on goal difference like that. So I think they're the real winners of today. But that's all I got to say.
Yeah, facts, bro. Facts. I think if people are kind of doing the whole disrespecting, what's it called? Disrespecting City thing. We saw how they came back yesterday, and I know they're not necessary. They just know how to get through games, isn't it? I think people are so concerned about being convincing, but it's not always about being convincing. Sometimes it's just about going past it. Because I think once Pep figures out what he exactly wants to do, which players there, we know they have the whole newness problem at right back. Big problem, bro. He watched it yesterday, bro. He gave away the ball 3 times before they conceded. But with Pep,
you're taking the piss, you know that, yeah. I swear to you, you're taking the piss.
No, I'm joking. You know what I'm saying? I'm joking.
No, it's all good. It's all good.
But I'm saying in general, yeah, I think, yeah, man, Pep, you can't write him off until you realize he's not there no more. I think you guys were doing that last season. Do you remember? No one wrote off City, especially Liverpool fans, until they realized they were dead in it. You know what I'm saying? They double checked as well. They double tapped. Yeah, he's dead. Okay, cool. We might be winning the league this season. But I think with Arsenal fans, they're not even checking, bro. They just keep saying, yeah, he's dead. And then obviously, you never know, bro. He just might get up randomly at the end and just slap you in the back.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean? It don't make sense, bro.
You know when you're saying about you don't have to be convincing. You don't have to be convincing when you've done it before. When you've not done it before, you've not done it in a long time, you have to be convincing. Like when we won the league in 1920, we practically won. Up until lockdown, we only lost one game and drew another. So we had like 27 wins, 1 draw and a loss. But we had to do that, yeah, because the previous season we dropped too many points and City caught us up. So for Arsenal, they have to be convincing. City don't have to be convincing because they've just done it. So they're so good at winning anyway. So, and also one thing as well, Pep has never gone 2 years without losing a league title. So there's that as well.
Do you know what it is? Do you know what it is? When life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Today we had a red card. I'm saying you're supposed to make. Listen, you're supposed to make lemonade today. That's what you were supposed to make. We had a red card, 60 minutes to go. Bro, come on, man. Another team will smoke that team 4-2, 3-1. Easy. They've got a shit, but we're always talking about their defense, right? How did you not find a way past their defense? Since their defense is so shit, right? How come you didn't find a way past that defense? What did we revert back to? We reverted back to just the way we played against PSG and the year before that and the year before that. Cross the balls into the box. Let's hope someone gets something out of it, and that's about it. No other plan. Same plan. U-shaped football, cross the ball, again, repeat and repeat and repeat. Bro, that's why it was so easy. Not easy. But that's why Chelsea could have got it over the line. Because it was predictable. It was predictable what Arsenal were trying to do. Cross the ball into the box, bro. Come on, man. That should be one of the weapons. You need to find multiple weapons to open up defenses. Bro, our biggest problem last year was low blocks. Again, our biggest problem last year was low blocks. The thing is that you need to find a way around it. You need to find a way to open them up. You're not just going to meet Chelsea that are going to play low block. Every team are going to do that against you. Nearly every team. Apart from Champions League, I know that's different football, different conversation. Premier League, that's what they're going to do. You need to find a way, bro. What we were doing? Playing long throws, bro, and crossing balls into the box until it happened. Yeah, Moreno scored. Great cross. great attacking the attack positioning from Moreno. But you can't just be doing that. You know what I'm saying? That can't be the plan. That can't be the plan. Every season, bro. Every season. That's the thing. Without the set piece, we're different. We're a different Arsenal, bro. We're a different Arsenal with that set piece. And people would say, "Oh, but we smoked Bayern Munich 4-1." Yeah, bro, but we scored a set piece first. You know what I'm saying? You opened up the game. You get it? When you score, you open up the game. That's the whole point. They didn't play a low block then. When you score against the team, they're not going to play a low block. That's the whole point. If it wasn't for set pieces this season, I don't know if we're in the position that we're in. But doesn't matter. Look, if you believe in if you believe in this plan, cool, whatever. We'll just talk at the end of the season.
But Rashid,
That's all I'm gonna
sorry,
say.
bro. Yeah, someone just said in the chat, "What game did you win convincingly?" The only one is Spurs. I don't think it's easy.
No, we Slavia
Leeds?
Prague, baby.
No. Spurs and
Prague?
maybe Atletico.
We beat Atletico
Leeds.
convincingly.
Atletico, we only
Leeds,
Atletico,
we beat convincingly. Bayern, we beat convincingly.
but we scored a
There are a few games that we won convincingly.
Not enough
yeah, but
points.
you're
I've only
opening up
beat them
teams with set pieces. Do you get it? Atletico Madrid, we scored a set piece, and then Atletico Madrid started playing. Do you guys understand what I'm trying to say here? We need
Yeah,
to
but I
find
can't
a way
lie.
to.
They didn't really do much, and we kind of.
See,
did
nothing's
Who's gonna
already
do
getting
much,
in
bro?
Madrid
We've got
allegiance. You know what I'm saying? Barcelona. You know what I'm saying?
we've
No.
got 8 defenders, bro. We got 10 players defending. We've got Martinelli defending, Saka defending, Eze defending. Everybody's defending.
Rashid, I have no problem with that. It's not illegal. My problem is that when we only relied purely on that, but the actual performance, it was convincing. It's just not
Okay, fair
convincing.
enough.
That's your only approach week in, week out. You get me?
Okay. I see that. I know what you
but
mean.
there's nothing wrong with relying on set pieces because if you look at how,
Nah, there
if
is.
you look at this, no, there isn't. If you look at how the season is going, more teams are scoring from set pieces, and in the end of the day, it's any means necessary. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why people do this like snobbishness, right? Where it's like, oh, we can only score from corners and stuff like that. Listen, the ball goes in the back of the net. It doesn't matter. Not all about fancy patterns.
Yeah, but that can't be the only plan, Josh.
Bro,
Do you know what I'm saying? That can't be the only plan.
We're trying to play fancy football, and it's not working. That's why we have like 6 losses in.
Yeah, but we're in 7th year. You lot are 2nd year process. We're in the 7th, bro. It's not the same.
No, what I'm saying to you is this year, if you look at your environment, sometimes you have to adjust to your environment. That's what Mikel has clearly done because he's invested a lot into set piece football, long throws, etc., because that is how teams are trying to play. Because it's almost like an equalizer, right? So if you're a team like a Brentford, and if you're a team like I don't know, some miscellaneous mid-table side or lower team side, you're not going to be better than Arsenal. It's not actually possible for you to be better than them because they've got superior technical players. So that's the way you equalize them. So he's kind of taken a leaf out of their book to do it against the bigger teams, and in fact, do it against anyone. To be fair, so I think you're being a bit too critical on that.
Okay.
In that regard. Because at the end of the day, the main thing is that you win the game of football. The style is the way you do it is irrelevant, man.
Josh, I hear it, bro. I hear it. It's just that I don't want it to be the only plan. I want it because this problem isn't this year. It was last year. We should have addressed the problem last year. Do you know what I'm saying? We should have addressed it to find a way to open up these teams. Do you get me? How did Man City do it this season? Week in, week out, they used to open up teams. Week in, week out. Why? They have that technical ability in the midfield. They can find passes. They can open up teams. They got wingers that can take on a player. That is why. We don't have that. We have players that are pragmatic. We know what they're gonna do. Saka, every time he gets the ball, we all know what he's gonna do. Take on the left, cross the ball. Martinelli barely touched the ball. Eze barely touched the ball. Do you know what I'm saying? Because when a team gets physical with you in the midfield and the set pieces are there's no set piece goals, you're going to face a lot of problems to win the game. Do you get what I'm trying to say, Josh? I'm not saying, look, if you want to win it that way, I've never seen a team, by the way. I've never seen a team in my life that won the league just relying solely on set pieces. Like the whole idea is to go into the game, get a corner, get a set piece and score from that. I've never seen that. I'll be real. I've never seen that. I don't know if you have. I've watched 15 years of football. I've never seen that.
I can't lie. Now, when we won the league in 1920, we scored a lot of goals from set pieces to open teams up. Like I'm not gonna lie,
we have to go back.
Our goals came from set pieces.
Now we have to go back to the stats. We need to go back to the stats and see how many goals were scored and how many goals from set pieces, how many goals from open play, and when we used to go into games, when did you score a set piece? Now, if we score an open play goal and then we score a set piece second, that's cool. That means we can beat teams. We can actually open up teams. Do you get what I'm trying to say? My problem is we can't open up teams. We can't open up teams. The certain teams get physical with you. You can't open up them. That's my problem. Do you get me? That's my problem with the whole situation. But bro, like you said, look, I agree with you. I kind of agree with you because you're looking at it from a different angle. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it does work, bro. I've never seen it, Josh. I'll be real with you, bro. I've never seen it, bro. I've never
Bro, I'll
seen it.
be
I don't
real.
know this kind of
I'll be real though, Rashid. Yeah, every fan's gonna say this. Yeah, when you're
Mhm.
dropping points and you only got one game plan. Yeah, everyone's gonna
Mhm.
critique that tactic. So let's just be real. We want flexibility from a manager. That's the whole point. You're supposed to be there to do in-game adjustments if it's not working. And when those in-game adjustments don't work out and you're a one-trick pony, of course you're going to say, bro, this ain't working though. And for us, it not working is dropping points because this is how we didn't win the league last season. So of course we're going to have PTSD because we know that this is already we've already had 3 draws, 2 losses in a loss in the league. Do you know what I'm saying? So of course we're going to look at it and be like, yo, these are the points that always rack up that we look back in the end of the season and say, this is where we lost the league. This is where we lost momentum. To be fair to the team, we have been playing a lot better in open play, but I agree with Rashid. When we got pressed against Sunderland, we didn't have an answer. Do you know what I mean? We dropped points. We got pressed against Chelsea today. We didn't have an answer to get over the line. It is worrying when we get pressed. We are scoring more goals from open play. We can't deny that. It's not just Peace FC like at the start of the season. But at the same time, when you're getting pressed, you're going to need to know how to bypass that. And that's why I said today, why didn't he implement long ball? Sometimes rocket launcher football works, bro. If you can't beat their press here, play over the top. That's what Bayern did to us. That's what Bayern tried to do to us, and they were successful. All of us watched that game saying, yo, that's the one time they were looking effective. So continue that. And that's what we needed to do against Chelsea, which is why I said when Yas was taking a piss on my tactical breakdown, you know what I'm saying? Because man ain't a tactical, you know? I said play over the top.
I never done anything. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm tactical. Yeah,
I said pray over the top. Yeah, but you didn't call me crazy. You didn't say, oh, that don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I respected the way that you guys set up.
But that's because I put the comment on before you went live. You know what I'm saying? I didn't really put it. No, it's different. But listen, the way we play against big teams is known, innit? At this point, people know. The problem is just that a lot of teams can't deal with it because of not just our technicality in midfield, the physicality that we have in midfield. Do you get what I'm saying? I think that's the bit that some teams can't struggle with. I think, obviously, maybe Alavia would have helped us more, and then letting Caicedo to go for it. Like, we have these different ways that we can do certain things in it. And I think because our manager adapts to the opposition and how he wants to kind of, do you know what I'm saying, kind of shut out their way of playing and maybe, find a way of nullifying them and maybe do your own thing. I think sometimes in the beginning you see a lineup and you think, what's going on here? But then you usually, at this point now, we're used to it. Do you get what I'm saying? We're like, okay, cool, he's starting this player because of X, Y, and Z. But I just think that in general, I don't know, maybe Timmy can explain it. Yeah? I just don't understand where I know that you guys have been essentially the best team in the league in terms of on the table and that form-wise, whatever. But I just don't get where the whole thing about you can beat Chelsea comfortably. That's the bit that I just never got. Because for me, it's always been, I can understand where you think that you can beat us, and I also know how we can beat Arsenal. I just can't get the further side bit. Do you get what I'm saying? Where it's like, we can beat them, we shouldn't be losing against them. That's the bit I just don't get. Because it's essentially everyone in the top 4 can lose against each other anytime, innit? Do you get what I'm saying? Because those are usually the teams that are closest to you in terms of whether it's quality or performance and all that different. Do you get what I'm saying? Like players, that kind of thing. Maybe a manager. It's the other teams that usually get more disappointed at when you lose, innit? Because they have to find a way of beating you in that, or be very good to beat you kind of thing, innit? Or you might be off. I never got this bit. Do you get what I'm saying? I just never got this bit, to be honest, bro. Because we've beaten Liverpool, but you guys couldn't beat Liverpool at the time. We haven't played City yet. We struggled against Sunderland, but you guys struggled against Sunderland. I guess we lost and you guys drew, but for me, that's both points drops. Do you get what I'm saying? So, like,
those are the things I just didn't understand. And bro, man are telling me you beat Barcelona, they were rubbish. I'm like, bro, Bayern Munich, if they played the way they played against us, even Timmy can tell you, we only lost because I think Gusto made a mistake, and I think we had another mistake somewhere else, yeah. Other than that, we played better than them in certain places. We just couldn't deal with them at certain points, yeah. But what makes you think that you can just... Because they were telling me we beat Bayern Munich, best team in the world right now, but you guys couldn't beat... we knew you were going to beat Barcelona. It's easy. Do you get it? So it's just all downplaying and thinking you're just going to win. And I just felt like the amount of thinking that you're just not good, it's just going to be... I don't know, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Thinking our defense was bad, that was the worst thing you could have thought. Yeah.
The thing is, your manager's shown playing his way, you've won trophies. The same with Josh here. Klopp showed previously, even though some of the Liverpool fans at times may have criticised him, that he could win trophies, innit? Playing his system. The biggest gripe with Arteta is he ain't won no trophies playing this way. And it's not like he only started to implement playing this way this season. So there's always that question mark, innit? You're always going to question it when you drop points and you're like, whoa, we've been playing like this for the last couple of seasons and there's no, do you know what I mean? There's no trophy at the end of it. So then you look at it and you go, well, then you need to change it a bit. You have to adjust it a bit. And like I said, I think today, like we saw against Tottenham and Bayern, the addition of Eze in the team made a difference as well in those games. This was a game today that Gyökeres not hitting top form affected us today, because if it was Gyökeres that was banging in goals and playing the way like Ekatike has been playing, you know, the majority of the season so far, where he's actually been good the majority of the season, then you would have been like, yo, that goal, obviously Timber was in the way. Gyökeres impacts this game today. Do you know what I mean? That's where you get paid.
I seen it in the lab though. North, these men when they come back from injury, they don't look match fit. Like even Gyökeres, maybe if he was, you know, before he got injured, he may have gotten to that ball before. Do you get what I'm saying? Maybe you'd be able to. Right now, it just looks, it's one of them. He's just a little bit rusty. With Delap, it's just a different story. He ain't played most of the season. When he played, he was playing well, but now it's just a bit poor. I don't think he played well today in general, innit? But that's just a different story. But I'm looking at it as well from the aspect of like, Eze scored 3 goals from the edge of the box when Bentancur was looking at the sky. Do you get me? Like, bro, be honest though, yeah. I'm not taking away from what he done. He played amazing in that game, yeah. But the DM wasn't there to shake. The DM wasn't there to defend. Like, do you get it? To shield the defense, bro. Yesterday, you've seen if you watch the Tottenham game, that man conceded from a similar position around there anyway. Tete scored from there. They even conceded from like the corner flag or like from the what's it called, from the manager's box, like that at some point.
Yeah, but bro, you still have to score for them opportunities, bro. Like it's all good,
saying, okay, cool. What you if you get someone that's really shielding that defense, is Eze going to be able to unlock it, or what is he looking at? Do you get what I'm saying? This is what I wanted to see, because cool, we've seen that he struggled before. But there's a reason why I never used our performance against Tottenham as a shield to say, yo, look, we beat them. Yes, we didn't score all our goals, but we convincingly beaten them, which means I'm beating everyone else after. Do you get what I'm saying? But at the same time, you're looking at this right now, and I'm looking at it, I'm thinking, you faced a team that was a bit more defensively resolute, but better quality in terms of the players in midfield and that, and all of a sudden, it was quiet. Do you get what I'm saying? And I think that's what you guys are talking about as well. I just think, yeah, man. It's just
maybe the Chelsea players also felt that disrespect going into the game because they played like their lives depended on it.
Yeah,
but I think at this point they knew the importance of that. I think as soon as we beat Barcelona, Maresca went off and he said, "Yo, like we just need to lock in for Arsenal now." He didn't even talk too much about whatever we played like at the time. So to me, it is what it is with that, and it like I understand it in terms of. Obviously, he wants to focus on that, but for me, in that aspect, is like, look, we need to do that. I think even he's learning as a manager in terms of understanding that, okay, we can't gas certain things as much as I did anymore. We need to be looking forward, and I think he already spoke today, talking about he respects the fight from the team today, but we need to do better X, Y, and Z. And I agree with him, innit? Because we got City twice, as in we got City in December and we got him in January, that close to each other and that. So we need to. December is known for Chelsea, innit, to be a bad period, so we need to sort that out.
But listen, I got to go, man. Them, but no. Before I go, yeah, they abandoned the Ajax match. You get me? The Ajax fans
No
they put
way.
fireworks everywhere, but locked off the game at 18 minutes. Blood. The game's
Yeah.
suspended, bro.
They lose again.
No, bro. 18 minutes within the game. These man put so much firework in the stadium. Yeah, the pitch started catching fire. They suspended it, bro. Bro,
Wow.
you can't get away with that. They've been quiet for too long, bro.
Now, to be
You know,
fair though,
you know what it
previous
reminds
seasons
me
they
of
smashed
the
up the
Benfica
stadium.
game that you and I watched together, Club World Cup. Yeah, they said it was raining. Yeah, 2 hours later, man, I'm still waiting. Yeah, these times they're saying, the streets are saying Davante's still on the couch waiting for the game to resume. You know? But yeah, man, listen, it is what it is, and we'll see. But bro, you seen it? Them fans, they've been slapped up. They ain't got a manager yet, but they're not having it. Do you know what I'm saying? They're not having it. Use this now.
I hear it, man.
Timmy, big up Timmy, man. You know what I'm saying? I haven't
Big
seen
up
you in a
Yasser,
while.
bro.
Big up. I gotta go though, bro. Love.
Nah,
bro.
big up Yasser,
Yeah,
man. We'll
love.
speak soon, bro.
Love, bro.
We'll speak soon. Make sure you subscribe to Yasser TV, man. You know what I'm saying? Timmy, what are you saying, man? What's your thoughts? You know what I mean? As a Chelsea fan.
Unfortunately, I have to do this because I have to eat my words. But Robert Sanchez, unfortunately, I have to clap for Robert Sanchez, bro. There's some people in this life where you have to put your ego aside and you have to say, look, as much as I don't like this guy, as much as I don't rate this player, he's been on form this season. He's been saving our ass this season, and that's kind of my thing. Is legitimately.
North, I'm off as well. Yeah, thank you for having me on, bro.
Big up Josh, man.
Okay.
Big up my
Peace,
bro.
peace, peace,
Okay, guys.
Win
All
against
the best.
Love.
I'm gonna make this quick because you guys probably gotta go soon. But yeah, Chelsea, tough performance. Like, I'm proud of them, but at the same time, we have to start fining people. Like, I think we have to start docking wages for red cards. It's because it's getting ridiculous now. I don't know whatever fines we have in place, but it's got to be the whole week's, like half the week's wages got to go or something. Because I think it's I wish I would have been able to say this earlier, but I think it's a thing that Maresca is condoning in the team. Like, that's the one thing. It's like, especially when you see Maresca running on the sideline, it seems like this guy doesn't care about picking up a yellow card. Like, which is fine. I mean, at the end of the day, if our manager's a passion merchant, that's not the worst thing in the world. But at the same time, when we get into these big games, it's always go, 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 go. And I feel like sometimes as a manager, you have to learn how to calm your players down. The whole thing is, it's not just tactic. It's psychology. It's, trying to make sure people are in the right mind state to play the game. You know what I mean? Like, I'm really not happy with the discipline issues. And I think if everyone's doing it, it's from the manager. Now, obviously, we do have some error-prone players. But Maresca, I think, is not encouraging it, but I don't think he's coaching it out of these guys either. I think he wants us to be combative, to be combative. But the problem is that it ends up in yellow and red cards. It ends up in now we don't have Caicedo for the next 3 matches. Like, sure, we're playing Leeds next, but like without Caicedo, we're toast. We're Caicedo FC. We're literally Caicedo, Palmer, and Reece James FC. Everyone else is just. I mean, Cucurella will show up, but I think it just in terms of like our team,
you're not
top
Cole
heavy.
Palmer FC. You beat Barcelona without Cole Palmer. To be fair to you,
Yeah, I think it's just like when we just are dependent on 4 to 5 players. Like, we're gonna see how Chelsea really is gonna play in the next 3 games. That's my thing. Unless Reece James plays like this for the rest of the 3 games and replaces Caicedo, because I feel like Caicedo leave Reece James his life form. Like, Caicedo just gave Reece James his stamina. It was the weird. I don't know what Reece James was on today, but Reece James, you too. Reece James, Jesus Christ, what a great performance. But I think it's just tough. It's a mixed performance. I think at home you always want to win, and I think the standards of Chelsea has always been we want to be in a title race regardless of what happens. So that's kind of my thing. Is like good performance, but also a bad performance at the same time because we just can't keep our discipline, And that's the standard to the modern game. It's inches. You're inches away from being between a red card and a yellow card. And it is what it is. These guys get paid 100, 2,000 pounds, 200,000 pounds a week for a reason. I might be being harsh, but it is what it is. We have to be better with our discipline. So that's my opinion.
No, I hear it, man. I hear it. Before we get Elijah and another Chelsea fan, let's go to Half Volley, man. I ain't seen you in time, bro. What you saying, man? You good, yeah? You're mute, bro. You're mute.
Yeah, what you saying, man? It's been a while.
Yeah, man. What do you make of today's performance,
How you
man?
been though? Good.
But I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. Listen, bro, I'll be super good if we win the league, man. It's the most important thing, bro. You know what? Today, yeah, half volley before you go. That's why I put the title frustrated. You know, sometimes you're not angry, you're not happy, you just feel frustrated. You look at a game and you say there was moments there that we could win it. There's moments there that we could have, made the league, the distance a lot more. We could have been 7 points away from Man City. We're 5 points. I haven't lost it, but I'm like, damn, that was an opportunity. And after such a hard run where we did so well against Spurs, absolutely blitz Bayern Munich, I was like, come on, man, because then we've got another run that's not as hard. Obviously Villa's going to be a tough game, but you got Brentford, you got certain. Keep up the momentum. Don't let this be another season where we don't see any trophies. And I think it's a game where I feel disappointed, because I was like, come on, boys, like we could have done a bit better in certain aspects. But enough about me, because it's already been almost two hours of me talking about how I think. I know you sometimes have a different perspective on things. How do you look on this game? What's your analysis of this game today?
Yeah, no, North. I think what you said is fair. I think for me, you can immediately tell the pattern of the game 10 minutes into it. But Arsenal, we lacked a bit of authority at the back. And I think Hincapié and Mosquera looked very nervy. There was too many gaps between them, and I think there was quite a lot of technical errors being made. And that was quite unusual for Arsenal. We're normally very compact and stable at the back, and we build from there. So I think 10 minutes into the game, I knew what kind of game it was going to be. And I thought, fair play to Chelsea. I think they played very well. They played it almost like a cup final, really into us. And Caicedo got carried away, and obviously got his sending off. The one player that I was possibly disappointed with was Eze. But I think there are some mitigating circumstances why he didn't have an effective game, because Caicedo kept dropping into the middle and stopping players from turning. And you can tell he was onto Eze every time Eze received the ball, and he couldn't turn. So Eze kept going further back. And I think it was when Merino started dropping into the 10 that Caicedo then fouled him and, obviously got himself sent off. So it was a bit of a weird game. I think I kind of agree with you. When it's all been said and done, Arsenal should have won this game. 10 against 11 for almost, 65 minutes. No exceptions, no excuses. You want to win the title, you win this game. No fuss, no excuses, no mitigating circumstances and looking for reasons. We could look for 101 reasons why we didn't win that game, and some of it were perfectly valid. There were some factual reasons why, the game turned out the way it did. But I don't think, even watching that game into the second half, you could see Arsenal didn't have that extra grunt, that extra mile to literally put the game to bed, and that's how we turned out. So I'm very disappointed. I think people need to understand that. I guess people do that. If you want to win the title, you need to win these games. It's very simple. Liverpool were doing it last year, and we have to do it. It doesn't matter whether you got your two centre backs out, whether the referee was being a bit of a prick by dishing out yellow cards quite early into the game, which made it quite kind of a nervy basketball game, all unnecessary. But at the end of the day, the platform was laid for us to go and win it by having a numerical advantage 25, 30 minutes into the game. And Arteta should have made it count. But we looked laboured, we looked tired. And I think Chelsea, fair play to Chelsea. They played really well. That pitch is a five-a-side pitch, as everybody knows. It's about 2 meters shorter than your typical pitch. So when you have a numerical disadvantage, it's not as severe as a normal pitch. Arsenal have gone there with 10 men and snatched a draw. But again, I think when it's all said and done, Arsenal should have won that game. And it's a failure on the manager's part for failing to win that game. So we can go into all the reasons and all the extenuating circumstances why Arsenal didn't get the 3 points. But I think there were some, some of the performances. For example, Hincapié, who's been hyped up quite a lot. I thought he got caught in the moment of the game. He was in the second half. There was a tackle that he put on Pedro, and he was kind of getting very passionate. I think Raya had to pull him away. We're playing against flipping 10 men. What are you celebrating his face for? Just get on with the game. We need to seal the game. So I think mentally and psychologically, we were a bit all over the show. We were all over the place. And that was down to the manager. The manager had the chance to regroup the players at halftime, get them focused, and get them to go again. And you can tell even the goal that we conceded came from a needless foul. That shouldn't have happened. They got 10 men on the pitch. If they've got the ball in an area, let them have it. We take it off. So I think it's like you say, it's very frustrating for me because we're no longer in the we're not in the spectrum of competing for titles anymore. We're the favorites. We need to embrace it and we need to win games, especially when we're playing against 10 men. No exceptions, no excuses. Go and win the game. And we're lucky enough to have a numerical advantage quite early in the game. The manager had a whole 15 minutes at halftime to talk to the team, coach them into some cohesive approach, and say, go and settle this game by 2-3 goals. And we couldn't do it. So that was a failure on the manager's part, no matter how you look at it. You know me, North. As much as I'm pragmatic and I'm very understanding of the challenges that Arteta faces, when it comes to results like this, you can't look at anything beyond the manager because ultimately he had everything went our way today. Everything that could have possibly gone our way in a normal circumstance, we probably would have had a player sent off because I think that Hincapié elbow on Saliba, where he had that real spot on his face, another referee would have given him a yellow card. Maybe it wasn't a red card, it was innocuous, but it was probably severe enough to give him a second yellow. So, okay, but we then managed to keep 11 men on the pitch, play for a full half, and we still couldn't score. We never looked like scoring. So I think, I'll leave it there. But just very frustrating.
I agree in certain aspects. I mean, Hincapié up against Ødegaard, that was a challenge that we're looking at. Okay, how's he going to step up after Ødegaard had such a good game against Barcelona? And Calafiori did well against Ødegaard. And then you look at the centre-back pairing, the first time they're playing together, new players in the squad, new to the league, the both of them. How are they going to perform in a big game up against Chelsea that have confidence? They weren't amazing, but then again, we're not going to sit here and say that we expected them to be faultless. It's the first time that they've played together. And they got saved by Declan Rice and Timber last-ditch tackles, but they weren't horrendous. Previous years, we wouldn't have those replacements to be able to cover for both centre-backs getting injured. Most of the time, we'd be struggling if we got one of our main centre-backs injured. So I understand that as well. I feel like the Hincapié one, I feel like was harsh because both players are looking at the ball the whole time. Even when they play the replay, they're looking at the ball and it's a natural movement to put your arm up when you're going to win the ball. Even when the ball's coming at you as a centre-back, even when you head it forward, you still use your arm as a momentum to push your body forward to header it. So I feel like you can see it wasn't intentional at all. It was just unfortunate because they were so close to each other and both were trying to win the aerial duel. So that's why I felt like that was a bit harsh. But like you said, that didn't go against us. Even the fact that we still had moments that we could have scored from, even though we didn't even play that well. Some of the crossing from Saka feels a lot better. There was tap-ins there for Moreno. There was tap-ins there for Gyökeres. And we didn't utilize that. Our passing from Saka was very poor, apart from the goal. The assist was very good. But then after that, it was same old. So I hear it, bro. What's frustrating is just like the lack of urgency from us when you got a player down, go for it. The substitutions for me wasn't that bad, but why are you playing Madueke on the left when he's better on the right? Saka's shown that he can perform on the left, and it actually makes him less predictable, more direct. So then you've got Madueke that's way more direct on the right-hand side, and you've got Saka that when he's on the left, he doesn't look for the number 10 as much. He's more direct. So you actually benefit from them being more direct because when we get space in behind, both of them are going straight at the fullbacks and running in behind the defense. Arteta didn't do that. He tried to accommodate Saka being on the right and play Madueke on the left. And you could see Madueke is not as effective. I'm not a fan of Madueke. But one thing I do like about him is when he's direct. And when he's on that right-hand side, he is direct.
Yeah.
And Saka's not as direct on the right-hand side. So it's like you could have killed two birds with one stone. Not saying that they would have gone levels, but you would have got more out of them. When you bring Gyökeres into the game, use him as a target man. Because one thing Gyökeres is good is being physical at holding up the ball. That's one thing we can say that we've seen about him. He is physical. The problem is sometimes when he makes his decisions, he can take a bit of time. So if you bring on Gyökeres, cool. You say, cool, I don't need you to drop in deep like Moreno was doing because their midfield is pressing us. We're going to use you as a target man, and you're going to bring in Saka on the left and Madueke on the right, and you guys are going to make runs in and behind. You're going to go central and go in and behind that defense, and we're going to absolutely give Sanchez something to think about. We're going to make sure that he's going to have to make worldies because we're going to be peppering his goal, and they're a man down. Instead, we bring Gyökeres. It's much of a muchness from what Moreno was doing. We bring on Madueke. He's doing exactly what Martinelli's doing. 1 or 2 decent crosses. Overall, not very good delivery. Not really affecting the game. You bring on Ødegaard. Yeah, he's playing little passes, but their midfield is still comfortable. It's still compact. Their backline is still compact. He's not really bringing anything that we didn't have with Zubamendi, just not losing the ball as much. And it's like, what's the plan behind the substitutions? Is it like for like, or is it an actual tactical decision that you're doing? We're going to play long balls. We're going to be direct. We're going to make sure that we bring on a striker that can hold the ball. And that is my biggest gripe with this manager. It's like, you make like for like substitutions, but the actual instruction is the same thing.
Yeah.
You're just removing the personnel, bringing on fresh legs. And that is where I look at him and say, tactically, I'm sorry, you didn't do enough today, Mikel. You didn't do enough. You didn't tactically change us. We were still doing the same thing, which is why Chelsea still look comfortable. And that was my annoyance, because when I judge this manager, not only pressure moments, but tactical games. PSG, tactical game. You had to tactically change. You didn't. Then when you're looking at games, okay, cool. Bayern Munich, we already had them sussed out. Fair enough. You had them sussed out. But when you don't have them sussed out, how do you make substitutions that change the game? Earlier on in the season, people were saying Trossard, Martinelli off the bench, they are our finishers. They're going to change the. Well, where was that today? Because those are the kind of impacts that we need. The substitution didn't impact the game. And when you're not impacting the game, we're looking at you and saying, well, Mikel, we all know that you've got a team that's good enough to win the league. Nobody put Chelsea in a title race. And if you can't handle this now, how are you going to handle at the end of the season where you go up against teams that set up really well defensively like Chelsea did, that are going to press you, that may be in a relegation fight or fighting for a European spot? You're going to come up against this challenge again, bro. This is just the start. End of the season is notoriously hard because teams are fighting for their position, whether their status in the league, trying to qualify for European places, trying to stay in a title race. And this is why the end of the season is so tough, because everybody's fighting for something. There's very few teams that are comfortable mathematically where they're kind of like, well, we're not in a challenge, but we're not getting relegated. The majority have their own little battles within the actual league. Yeah. And if you can't set up against and beat a Chelsea that was there for the taking in a way, because their team is not considered, let's be real, nobody considered this team good enough to win the league, then you have to make the players that you brought in the summer and the fact that we're supposed to be a new team, you have to make it count on days like today. And that was my biggest thing, bro.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, bro. Like, I think for me, like you say, Arsenal can't afford to let this become some sort of mini title battle with other teams. We need to do what Liverpool did last season, streak away with it and let the rest fall behind. If it's some sort of title race in February, March, as you say, when teams are, struggling for survival, fighting for their lives, it's going to get ugly for us. I don't think Arsenal have the stomach for another closely fought contest late into the season. So these kind of games, we need to be killing them off. I don't care how we score. I know there was a chap on complaining about us scoring through set pieces and all this crap. Don't matter. Doesn't matter. We need to find ways to win football games. So far this season, we've done that. But this is, again, I think with Mikel, these are, I can understand where, these sort of games emerge where his critics then point it as the reason why he can't get over the line. All the metrics, all the stage was set for us to win this game. Even though we weren't playing really well, all we needed was a bit of a Saka punch. I was waiting for a Saka punch, on the 80th minute by some ugly goal. And then we walk away. That's it. Get it done by any means necessary. But like you say, North, after 80 minutes, you brought on Ødegaard, and then what are we doing? Stroking, sideways passes, the short passes going nowhere. Chelsea went necessarily under the cosh, were they? Chelsea went under the cosh. They actually, I think Maresca did a clinic job on Arteta tactically, because what he did was he wasn't necessarily in the low block, he was in kind of a mid block, and Arsenal were scared to overcommit. So it became a bit of a weird game. It's just, this is the frustrating thing for me when I watch back this game, because I think to myself, we're playing, this is a chance for us to put Chelsea to bed, put Chelsea out of the competition, 10 against 11, hammer them by 2-3 goals and move on. I know it's easier said than done, but everything was made for us to win this game. And why we didn't win it, some of the subs, we became a bit disjointed. You're watching the game and you're thinking, where's the goal going to come from? Like you say as well, I think Arsenal, we do very well when our intelligent players get on the ball. And I think our intelligent players are not Saka. I think Saka plays on instinct. I think it's very debatable whether Saka has the kind of the high thought process that's needed to break down low blocks. I think Trossard definitely would have helped today. Eze had an off game, but that's understandable. So I think these are two magic players. And our magic players need to be obsessed with winning games. For me, Eze today, fair enough, you scored a hat-trick against Tottenham. Do it again today. You need to be obsessed with doing it game in, game out, like Salah and Haaland do it for Liverpool and Man City respectively. So it's not good enough to do it in a one-off game and then show up and then, have an off game. We need these players to step up, game in, game out, and bury these teams. That's the only way we're going to win the Premier League.
I hear it, bro. I hear it. Elijah, what are you saying, man? What are you saying?
I'm honestly Northside. I'm frustrated, but you know what? I'm also proud of my team, because the fact that we managed to get a point and we're down to 10 minutes is good. But another game. But the only reason why I'm frustrated is that we still couldn't beat you lot, especially at the bridge. That's the most frustrating I'm frustrated about. But listen, Caicedo, he just let Chelsea down today. He really did. Like, that was a bad tackle on Moreno on Caicedo. And when I watched the replay, I was saying in watch along, I feel like Caicedo is very lucky that he's not getting a red. And then the VR looked at it and it says, you just give him a red. And now Caicedo is going to miss the game against Leeds, Bournemouth and Everton. And the last, the Chelsea fan that says, well, Caicedo FC, I'm sorry, I disagree. We've got Andre Santos in the squad, that can improve, because in the last game against Barcelona, particularly in the second half, he was superb. So listen, yes, we haven't got Cole Palmer, but we're still scoring goals. Without Cole Palmer, and Levi Cole. So for me, even though I'm frustrated, a point is not that bad. I would like, if it was away at the Emirates, then I understand. But at Stamford Bridge, I expect more from this team. And I know this may sound crazy to you, Northside, but I feel like if Caicedo didn't get a red, it would have been a different game. I feel like Chelsea could have won this game, because I feel like after 10 minutes, I feel like Chelsea were the better team. We had so many opportunities. Estefan should have scored. João Pedro, I don't know why on earth he took too long to shoot. Neto could have scored, but Declan Rice made a great tackle. So in that first half, Chelsea were the better team. But after the red card, Arsenal dominated, in the second half. And then as soon as we took the lead, I was thinking, can Chelsea manage to hold on? But we couldn't. We conceded. Mikel Moreno scored. I feel like Renato Fofana should be marking his man instead of allowing Gusto to do it all by himself when he was up against Madueke and Mikel Moreno. But listen, there's players I need to shout out. Reece James, man, he was superb tonight. I think for me, he's my man of the match, because in the midfield, he was good defensively. His parcel was good. He made a threat. Got an assist for Trevor Chalobah's goal. Like, Reece James was absolutely superb. And for me, I was thinking, I wonder why Santos is not coming on, because the question is, can Reece James do it all by himself? and he did. But I think for me, I feel like Enzo Wesker, what he should have done is bought on Santos, because having one midfield in this game, it would not work. It would not work. But I can't blame Enzo Wesker for Caicedo getting a stupid red card in this game. But listen, I'm proud of this team. We didn't lose this game. We didn't get battered. And I feel like Arsenal did have chances as well, at the end, Miko Meno, we had plenty of chances, but I thought Reece James was good. I thought Robert Sanchez as well, made some big saves. The first one was Gabby Martelli, and then the second one was Saka and in this game. And I thought Robert Sanchez was really good. I can't blame him for the goal because it was a good header, but I thought Sanchez this season has improved massively. I thought he was really good today. But I feel like Esteval, I thought he was okay, but not that great. The passing was off, should have scored. I thought John Pedro in this game was poor. Who else? Neto was poor. I think Kukureya did okay against Saka, but for Arsenal's goal, I feel like he didn't handle it well. So I think both of them were. I thought Saka was okay, so was Kukureya. I thought Chalobah was good in this game. For fun, I feel like he should have done better with the Arsenal goal. But Gusto, I thought he done well defensively. But listen, other than that, I'm frustrated because he simply cannot beat Arsenal yet again, especially at the Bridge. So when it comes to the Emirates Stadium, that game, I feel like I don't feel we're gonna win that game. But listen, it's point. I feel like it's more points drop for Arsenal than it is for Chelsea, because I would have thought that Arsenal are going to win this game because you're up against 10 men. But the fact that, you just didn't able to score, lots of goals, and you didn't turn up, just shows you that Arsenal, could have won this game. But so did Chelsea. So you know what? I probably say at this point, Northside, a draw is a fair result. But if Caicedo didn't make that challenge, it would have been a totally different game. Because before Caicedo got sent off, I thought he was also good as well in this game. But unfortunately, he got a red card, which is the correct decision. He will miss the next 3 games. But Santos, should be able to do Caicedo's work in this game. So overall, frustrated, but proud of Chelsea, especially since we went down to 10 men, at least, an hour into this game. So that's my thoughts.
Do you think Chelsea can win the title?
No, unfortunately not. Because we're so inconsistent. That's the problem. Like, when it comes to the Christmas period onwards, Chelsea seem to fall down. You know what I mean? So, and for me, I feel like we have good players, but we haven't got a proper striker. We haven't got a proper left winger. Like, Sanchez has improved this season, but I still think we need a proper goalkeeper. And when it comes to our defense, including our centre backs, sometimes, we got 6 clean sheets, which is not that bad, but sometimes our centre backs can be a bit shaky sometimes. So for me, the only way I see Chelsea winning the title is if we can be consistent, and if we can sign in proper players. That's when I'll tell you guys, that yes, we can win the league. But for me, still early days. I feel like for me, Chelsea, this season, you'll finish in the top 4. But I think for me, my expectation this season is to be in the title race. I wanted to see Chelsea close the gap on City, Arsenal, and Liverpool. Liverpool right now are out of it. But if Chelsea can at least close the gap on City, Arsenal, and win the trophy, then that's a very good season. But I don't see Chelsea winning the title, maybe not this season, but if we can sort it out, if we can buy proper players and start to be consistent throughout the Premier League, then maybe there's a possibility that next season Chelsea can, but unfortunately not this season. So that's my opinion.
Okay, I mean, fair enough. I think Chelsea can't be, given the fact that the game ended the way it did, 10 against 11, Chelsea were probably the happier team of the two. I think 11 v 11, Chelsea were probably the better side. For some bizarre reason, it looked like Chelsea had a little bit more intensity, a little bit more aggressive, and that's probably why Caicedo got carried away. Arsenal, and it's also quite unusual for Arsenal to be pressing that high quite early in the game. Usually, we start a game, we like, okay, you can have the ball and do whatever you want with it. Usually, teams can't do fuck all with it. We then get it back, and then we create opportunities. So I don't know whether it was a tactic from Arteta to offset the fact that we had two rookies, not necessarily rookies, but two novices at centre back who were just tripping over themselves, making all kinds of mistakes, playing like two lesbians on a night out. Some of the defending in the first half was absolutely shocking. And I think it spoke volumes that Hincapié in the second half was, celebrating that tackle, because he had a bit of a rugged first half. Him and Mosquera, just complaining, just playful. And the gap between them, you could literally stick a double-decker bus in between them. That's how big a gap was between them. You don't see that between Gabriel and Saliba. So structurally, there was a problem, and you could see it. So Arteta, to try and mitigate that glaring, hole in the back, decided to press very high. But again, when Chelsea tried to pass from the back a little bit, I think in the initial phases, got into a few problems, and then they started going long, and you could see. But then I thought it's incumbent on Arteta to fix the damn thing at half time. You've seen the problems. You've now got a numerical advantage. You've got all the ingredients to go and win the game. This is where managers earn their money. And we actually had a decent bench, believe it or not. The bench was actually decent. Although I think being starved of, as I say, Trossard thrives in games like this. Because I think, one thing about Trossard is he's a very good thinker in unlocking these kind of low blocks like he did against Sunderland. So we could have done with a player like that. But fair enough, it doesn't matter. He was off injured. So just looking at the way the game panned out, I'm thinking, damn, you come out in the second half and you're playing the same punch-drunk football you were playing in the first half. Like a boxer just waiting to get knocked out. And it just didn't, for me, it was very difficult for me to fathom how the game was playing out the longer it went on. And we looked at we're actually going to lose the game, bizarrely enough, which was very strange. The longer the game went on, the more Chelsea grew in confidence. So for me, this is one of those games which I can see what I said, Arteta's critics flag it up as, can this guy get over the line? I'm still a massive fan of his and his body of work and what he's done. I think it's a lot harder to create a title-winning team than to win with a team that's already been built. Building a team that can go and win something is hard work. That's why Liverpool are having problems, because Slot now has the task of creating a team that can compete. Last season, whether you like it or not, half of the job was already done for him. So systematically building a team that can get to the very highest level to win, it's a very difficult job. You don't have to be the best team to win cup competitions, but you absolutely have to be the best to compete for a league title and win it. And only a select few are capable of doing it. And whether Arteta is one of those select few is yet to be seen. But today, for me, it was just everything I saw today just brought back memories of all the bad things that have gone on in the last few years and why we fell short, especially now that we've got the resources to actually go and batter these teams. I don't care about Chelsea, honestly. I think they're doing very well. They're a decent side. But given the way the game turned out, I think we should have beaten you lot and moved on. You're not our problem. We're not in a competition with you lot, right? You're a decent side. You can beat most top sides on your day, but you had a numerical disadvantage. We had a decent team out there and a decent bench. We should have just seen out this game and moved on. Now this game is going to become a talking point for the next couple of days, and everybody's going to say, whether rightly or wrongly, Arteta is falling short again. When push comes to shove, when the real questions are posed, he hasn't got any answers. And that's what concerns me.
I hear it. I think they're going to look at the Tottenham and the Bayern game to try and justify today. But I feel like we have to look at the games and look at things a little bit differently. 2 wins doesn't X out a draw. You still draw this game, regardless if that's how they want to justify it. Ultimately, we don't want to look back on the season and say this is where we lost the league, innit? We want to look back on this season and say, we were able to win a major trophy. I mean, that's what we want. But we're always going to reference to seasons where it's gone wrong. I mean, it's only logical that you look back and you say, well, this is where we lost it in the past. Have we rectified that? And yeah, we can say, yo, you know, Bayern a couple of seasons ago, would we have won that? Obviously, we didn't. 2 seasons ago, they beat us with the worst team. You look at certain grounds where we got certain points, but at the same time, the criticism comes because there's been a lot of time and money being given to this manager to continue. And it has to come to a point where there's expectation now. And I think this is the season, whether people want to accept it or not, that you can't keep running excuses. You can't keep justifying. It always comes to a point in life where you have to execute. And there has to be expectation put upon you. You know, there's always going to be situations where things don't go for us. But even the biggest thing that this manager used to get a lot of defense for was injuries. And like you said, he can't even run the injuries anymore, you know, because you've got multiple positions. You've got multiple players that can play in the 10, in the midfield, on the wings, as a striker, centre-backs, full-backs. There's options there. And if he doesn't like the options, well, then you shouldn't have brought those players in, or you shouldn't have promoted them from the youth academy. It was your decision and your green light to get these into position. So you have to be held accountable as to how you use them. And if you don't trust them, why did you bring them? So it's one of them ones now where it's kind of, he's in a corner now where you have to, because there's no more inheritance of a team or time that you need these players. No, you tell us to believe these players when you bring them in. You justify us why you brought them in. You got to make it make sense now, you know? And maybe the manager could have had a lot more time if he would have won a lot more cups along the way. Let's be real. Maybe he would have had a lot more cups, because then you look at, you know, like you said, the body of work of 6 years, and you would have said, well, he's won 2 FA Cups, let's say 2 Carabao Cups, and he won a Europa. There's more now a reason to be like, okay, well, maybe look at Maresca. People can say, oh, well, they won the conference and they won the club, but he won it. And trophies give you more time when you win trophies. The problem is when you go so long without winning trophies, people look at you and say, well, when you've had your blueprint on the team, they've not been able to get over the line since the team you inherited that wasn't a team good enough to win the league. But they won something. They won something. Your team hasn't even won a cup. Since the FA Cup, you've not even been able to win a cup. So this is where you look at it and say, well, you know, you're trying to build a team in your image, but the team in your image it's not reaped any success. You've been in a title race, but you haven't shown us any success with that team. And that's always going to be the question mark over this manager if you don't get over the line, because now you're at a point where majors are the only thing that can do now to justify the money that's been spent and your leadership, because you've gone so long without winning anything. And this is why I don't dismiss Carabao. I don't dismiss Europa. I don't dismiss in these competitions. Win it, because it sets a blueprint of winning mentality. It sets a tone of winning. And the managers that we've lauded up in the last couple of years, Klopp's won. He didn't just win a Premier League and a Champions League. He won the cups as well. Pep's won numerous cups before he went on and did a three-peat and won league titles and won, you know what I'm saying, the Champions League. So it's like, and one FA Cup in 6 years, when you haven't had the restriction of not spending money, when you've broken our transfer record. Sorry, bro. You've not been restricted in terms of spending money, and you've not been restricted in the way that you want to build this team. And you've been at the forefront of players that get new contracts and players that come in. And you've been able to have Berta, that is somebody that is experienced in his field. And then we've got the other Italian guy that's come in as well to help you. There's no excuses now, Arteta, bro. We're looking at you. You can't be talking about players and this and that. And now we're looking at you now, and you've got to be the difference now. I want to get Peter in, bro. Peter, what are you saying about this game, bro? What's your thoughts?
Hey guys, big up North chat and the panel.
Big up, bro.
It's pretty disappointing back where I'm at in Melbourne, Australia. I had to wake up at 3:20 for this stupid game. I was pleased with the Tottenham and Bayern performance, but I couldn't understand what they've done today. I know there was going to be big talk and big challenge and playing Chelsea away. But when I saw the lineup, I was a bit concerned. I knew it was going to be a long day. I knew Caicedo was going to be dirty. I had a feeling he was going to get cutted. But then to go down to 10 men and we still couldn't get it over the line, pretty shocking. Pretty shocking. And with who we had on the bench couldn't make a change to the game at all. And once again, Gyökeres comes in and no one's finding him. And Saka's been off for the last God knows how long. So many opportunities he had where he could have just squared it into the box where there's multiple players waiting for the ball. And he decides to take it on his right foot. He just kept banging him over the crossbar. David Raya in the back. Sometimes when he's playing it out the back, it just makes everyone nervous on his decision making. And Hincapié and Mosquera, very, very sloppy. Playing for the first time together, and I hope I don't see that again. So yeah, pretty disappointed that it was only a draw. Lucky it wasn't a loss, but I know other fans are going to come out and say to calm down and relax. We didn't lose. There's going to be games like that, which I get, but not with a performance like that. So yeah, that's all I have to say. Pretty shocking.
Yeah, I mean, the thing, I think if you close your eyes and you said Chelsea won, Arsenal won was the result, you say, okay, fair enough, I'll take it. But then you open your eyes and you think, okay, Chelsea won, Arsenal won. Chelsea were down to 10 men after, 30-something minutes, whatever it was.
It was literally less than 40 minutes into the game.
Yeah. So then you think to yourself, okay, well, Arsenal should have won the game. No exceptions, no excuses, right? So Arsenal are not going to get this many opportunities to take all 3 points against a relatively decent side, right? Yep. A decent side. Chelsea are a decent side. They've got a decent team, right? But they most likely are not going to win the title. And this is not me disrespecting them in any way. There's a couple of things need to fit together for them to really compete at the very top. But they're a very good team. Arsenal are not going to get that many opportunities to take all 3 points against in a derby against 10 men, right? So for me, this result is going to hurt and it's going to stink for a couple of months. We're on a trajectory now. When you look at our points total, 30 points after 13 games, we're averaging about 2.3 points a game. So if you project it over 38 games, we're probably heading for around 87 points. That's not good enough, guys. I'm telling you now, Arsenal need to be averaging a points total that will make us hit a minimum 90 points. That's how we're going to comfortably win this league. At the moment, as good as we've been, right, the average points, the average points per game that we're getting is going to, if we project it out, we're going to get something around 87 points. And for me, that's too close a call. And that's what Arteta needs to avoid. Arsenal can't afford to get sucked into a title battle late in February, March. And I've said this before. If we want to win this, we need to win it clearly, streak away, right? We're going to have bumps along the way. Maybe in February, March, we might have these kind of results. In November, early December, we can't afford this result. We're not going to get that many opportunities to play against a 10-man Chelsea for the majority of the game. For me, that was the biggest letdown today.
I wanted us this weekend make a statement that we're not mucking around this season. But once again, we'll go beat any team on the day. But then, go put out a performance like that. It's fucking disappointing.
After we've already, within the league, we've already failed the test at Sunderland. A team that's been in good form at the start of the season, and people have afforded him, okay, well, it's a good point. Then you can't turn around and say, oh, Chelsea is a good point. This is the problem. This is why we're critical, because you want to keep the people want to keep giving them leeway that, oh, well, Sunderland, they played well. Sunderland, a good team this season. What, you're going to say that every time we drop points? We're supposed to beat Sunderland. Come on, let's be real. You know what I mean? And not taken away from Sunderland, but we had no answer against Sunderland's press to win the game. But we had no answer today through Chelsea's press to win the game. So we're seeing a pattern now. And this is the thing, yeah? It's like, we don't have no... And let's be honest, yeah? Let's be completely honest now. The way we were getting exposed to Bayern Munich, yeah, we won the game and we deserved to win the game. But they stopped that game plan. We didn't stop the game plan. We didn't stop the long balls that were getting them through 1v1 with our goalkeeper. We didn't close them down. They were still exposing our defense with the long balls. They stopped sticking to their game plan. Everyone walked away from the game saying, yo, we deserve the win and everything else like that, but they expose us with the long balls. So how are we going to combat that? How are we going to combat teams that are very well drilled in the midfield? The same way I was looking at the PSG game saying, how do we take on teams that move the ball quickly and their movement off the ball is elite? And they commit too many players forward and we get caught out. How are we going to combat that? These are still valid questions of this manager, on top of the fact that when the real pressure's on, where it's now you got to get over the line, we still have these questions. And we're not making these questions because we don't believe in the team. Because whether you're Arteta in, Arteta out, we all of us been saying, all of us, every stream, this team's good enough to win the league. So we believe in the quality of the squad, but the manager still has to deliver. The manager still has to get over the line. Mm-hmm. And when we're looking at the manager and we're saying, okay, cool, Arteta, you always put pressure on Saka to be star boy. You put pressure on Rice to be the captain. You look at Gabriel and Saliba to be leaders. Cool. But we're looking at you as the manager, the head of this project, to get us over the line as a manager and show us that tactically you have advanced. I will give Arteta props, yeah, that he's gone away from just relying on set pieces that he did in the start of the season, playing the 3 DMs, and we've played a lot better in open play in recent games. We have played better, but that doesn't mean that when you're making substitutions that you can't change the game plan within the game and see that you're not going to play through the middle. Getting Ødegaard on the pitch and saying, bop it around, this wasn't the game for that. This was the game for Ødegaard to dictate from deep and use Gyökeres as a target man to bypass the press. That is what you should have done, but you didn't do that. Even so, Saka his crosses, yeah, today was not good enough. Apart from the assist, which he did really well. Yeah. Why are you not making Saka, yeah, accountable for the amount of opportunities that he's not putting on a plate for Moreno getting in good positions and Gyökeres getting in good positions? You got to make him accountable. He made him accountable the other day when he subbed Saka off. Why not today? Saka wasn't amazing, bro.
No.
So I wanted Saka off, but we could go on the right. Martinelli stay on.
Do you know what I mean? Bro, where was the accountability, bro? Because Saka had so many chances to put it on a plate. And what do you do? He can play the whole game. Come on, man. Come on. You made Zubamendi accountable.
Yeah.
So why not
he wasn't
Saka?
happy coming off.
Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't... I don't know if these inconsistencies, yeah, that I look at the manager, I'm like, when I see you do good things, yeah, like, bro, I want you to stick to doing those good things. You know what I'm saying? Don't just, you know what I mean, go away from that and then all of a sudden, nah, it's okay. You know what I mean? Like, we're going to keep Saka on. Bro, you subbed him against Bayern Munich, bro. You made him accountable against Bayern Munich. Now today, you're not making him accountable, bro. He was killing off our counters, bro. He was killing off the counter. You took Zubamendi because he was killing off our counter, losing the ball in the midfield. Yeah. But then Saka stays on. Come on, Arteta. We praised you for the Saka substitution against Bayern. Yeah. But then today, you revert back to favoritism thing again. Because you had to get your boy... come on. And this is the thing, like, I don't want to cuss this manager. Like, when he does things well, like, my match reaction against Bayern and against Bayern and Tottenham, anybody come out here and tell me I'm negative. When he does good things, I praise him, bro. I praise him. But when you do certain things and I'm like, yo, come on, bro. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, what are you doing? You take off Martinelli because Martinelli wasn't good enough. Apart from the assist, what did Saka do different to Martinelli? Both of them were losing the ball and killing off our counterattacks. What's the difference, bro? One has more PR and the other one doesn't. That's the difference. Martinelli was supposed to be sold in the summer and Saka wasn't. That's the only difference. Because if we're going off the performance, Saka wasn't offering much more than what Martinelli was doing.
No, Saka was very poor. He was killing a lot of our attacks, poor decision making. You would have thought Saka is no longer a young player. He's one of our main cornerstones of this squad. and you expect him to be making better decisions. Some of the crosses, some of the decisions was just shocking. I think for me, people need to understand, for Arsenal to win the Premier League, we need to be exceptional. It's not good enough just being good and winning games. We need to be game in, game out, doing it every week, battering these teams. And like I say, you're never going to get a good opportunity to beat a team like Chelsea, like we did today, against 10 men, the majority of the game. We are not going to get this opportunity for the next 5-6 months against a decent side like Chelsea. So once you get that opportunity, you need to make it count. You have to be exceptional. Last season, people can say, oh, it wasn't really a title race. Liverpool were exceptional in certain games. They went a long winning run. They were winning games. They were battering teams they were supposed to be beating. And Salah was absolutely churning out exceptional numbers. At this moment in time, Arsenal haven't got a player who's churning out exceptional numbers. Eze looks like he's on that trajectory. But it's not good enough to just score a hat-trick against Spurs and then play against 10-man Chelsea and just go cold. These are the standards that you have to demand if you want to win the title. And at the moment, what worries me is that these shortfalls are going to create a title race deep in the season, and then suddenly we get sucked into this whole mess of 3-4 teams hanging on our coattails. And then if we fail, it was like, oh, Arsenal bottled it again. We can't afford that. We need to put a clear gap between us and the chasing pack, and then have room for mistakes, errors, buffers, right? If we were 10, 11 points ahead and we drew against Chelsea today, I'll say fair enough. You know, we've got room for errors, room for maneuver. But at the moment, we haven't got that. And that's what worries me. You know, it really worries me. I don't know.
If it was the other way around, if we were down to 10 men and we walked away with the point, I'd say, fair enough.
Yeah.
We walk away with a point at the bridge. But to be up 11 versus 10, and we had fuck all shots at goals in the first half. It's just like, what are we doing? And then for their goal, Raya comes out. It was Hincapié at fault for giving the free kick away to João Pedro. And then the free kick, Raya comes out, hesitates, then backs off, and then Lucky makes the save, but he gives the corner away. And I'm looking at the defense where they're lined up, Mr. Set Piece coach, who's marking back post? There was no one at the back post, and Raya looked like he's just standing there not knowing what he's doing as the ball's going over him.
Yeah. It was like it was identical to the goal we scored against Man U in the first game of the season when they were all over the place.
Correct.
You know, one thing I've been impressed about Arsenal this season, right, and I'll name a couple of things. It's our composure, our discipline, and our ability to manage situations. And I've looked at it and I think, you know what? This Arsenal team is actually playing like champions. You know, we look unflustered, you know, in any situation. Even when we go a goal down, there's no panic. But today, everything went out the window. And whether it was because we're missing Gabriel and Saliba, and whether it was because we'd played too many games, etc., that could all be a factor. But the game was gifted to us the moment Caicedo, who's one of Chelsea's key players, if not their key player, once he got sent off, we got a reprieve. We got a reprieve from all the problems we had before the game, missing all the setbacks and these players. God said to us, hey, Arsenal, here's a gift. Chelsea are going to be down to 10 men. Go and win this game. And we absolutely fumbled the bag badly. And that's the problem. This is the annoying thing about today. And the more I think about the game, the more upsetting it is, in that this was a once in a long time that very rarely for the rest of the season are we going to get an opportunity like this. And this is what I keep saying. So for me, I look at it and I think, okay, even before the game kicked off, I looked at the lineup and I'm like, wow, Hincapié and Mosquera, that's going to be ugly. You know, and lo and behold, when the game started, you can see we were just unstable. But then after Caicedo got sent off, Arteta should have been ruthless. He should have said, you know what, this is it, we're going to go for it. But tactically, we just looked a bit of a mess. There was no coherent approach to breaking down Chelsea. And then the thing with, as much as you guys know, whenever I've come on here, I keep repeating, I'm a massive fan of Arteta's work. But one thing that bothers me is when the going gets tough, he reversed to the familiar and well rehearsed, which is sideways football, looking for through ball. He brings his generals on, and we keep doing the same thing. You know, you couldn't even tell who was down to 10 men. It was like Arsenal had loads of possessions, and Chelsea had this cutting edge. That's Arteta. He just deferred to what he knows. And I'm thinking, he takes off Eze, like you said, Noor. He keeps on Saka. Why is Saka on the pitch? What is Saka doing on the pitch when he's been faltering for 60 minutes? You know, he wasn't doing anything, and he was killing our attacks. He is, make no mistake, Saka is one of our best players when he's on form, right? And he's absolutely paid his dues in this team in terms of his output. But he's still not at the level you expect of a very elite winger who's churning out top numbers game in, game out. He's still not quite there yet. And as I say, he's not a youth. He's not a rookie. He's an experienced player. He's been in the first team for about 6 years. So you expect better decision making and better outcome. If this is not working, why is Arteta going back to what he knows? He just literally rearranges the deck chairs and plays like we were back in 2022, 23 or 24. It's just back to the same old shit. Do something different, especially when you've been gifted a numerical advantage. That's what really frustrated me today.
Yeah.
And what's it going to take for Ethan to get some minutes?
Yeah.
You already know it's the same. It's Ethan, it's Dalman, it's you already know how he goes when it goes to these players, man.
Like, these guys are game changers. They come on and they've got one thing in mind, is to go forward, be direct, take on the player. Like, I don't rate Midwicke, and I wasn't happy when I heard we're going for him. But what's embarrassing is that he can take on players when he's playing on the right.
Yeah.
Compared to Saka.
Yeah.
Which is it's pretty embarrassing.
And this is what I'm saying about the manager, in that as much as I think Ødegaard, adds some value to this team, I find him very predictable in that his game is very reliant on players making certain runs. His game is closely linked to what somebody else has to do to make it work. He's not going to drop a shoulder and beat two guys at the edge of the box and score like Eze. Waneri can do that, right? But because Arteta's elevated him to this level of captaincy, and if he's fit, he plays, that creates a constraint on the club and on the team. In that, like you say, today, I think Waneri was best suited to the challenge that we face today, in that he actually can carry the ball. He can create pockets through a bit of creative play, etc. So what happened today is Arteta, once all his generals are fit, what does he do? He just drops Marino back into midfield and pulls the Jokeris up front. It's the same old. Ødegaard comes in, he gets the ball, does a few shimmies, strokes it to the left, strokes it to the left. Chelsea are comfortable. They're sitting in. They're not getting pulled. They're not getting stretched. There's not enough physical questions being asked of Chelsea in those dying moments. And that was the problem. You need players to come in who can drop a shoulder, stretch their play, cause chaos, right? And that's what really just what I think with Eze, personally, I would have kept him on. I understand he wasn't, having a good game. I think it was all because Chelsea were very aggressive in the press, and you see in the first half. But once we went down to 10 men, that's where a manager earns his money. You platform your magic players. You say, Eze, okay, this is what I want you to do. I don't know what the instruction should be, but I know he's talented enough to be put in certain situations to be effective, especially against 10 men. That didn't happen. What Arteta did was just roll it back, get these players on, bring on his generals, rearrange them into what he's rehearsed, and then make it work. And lo and behold, it didn't work.
I agree with you, but this is the counter side of having a team of players that are limited. When you have a bunch of players, like for example, Zubamendi can thrive when he's not pressed. Yeah? Ødegaard, I agree with you. Ødegaard doesn't like to be pressed, and I agree. He looks for the movement, which is fine for a number 10. But then you have to make your decision making a lot faster, because when the striker drops a shoulder and makes the run, you have to make that decision to make that defense split and pass before he's ruled offside by the linesman. So that's why your decision making has to be fast. Otherwise, you'll catch out the defender. So you have to be quick on your decision making. But then when Arteta implements a system where we're not actually going forward and making runs and trying to make runs in behind the defense. You kill off what Ødegaard is trying to do because the movement's not there, because you want everybody to sit back and you want everyone to drop in as a false nine, or you want your wingers to drop in and double up for the fullbacks in case we get hit on the counter. So then you're not playing to Ødegaard's strength. And then when you've got Martinelli, he thrives when there's space. Today there was no space and you're getting pressed, out of the game. Limitations. Saka, he needs the number 10 to do the 1-2s because he's not developed enough to be able to skillfully get past players without playing the little give and goals. He needs to pass the give and goal to give the fullback a different decision to say, do I close down the 10 or do I follow your run? As soon as he closes down the 10, he's now got the space to run in behind. If he doesn't have the 10 doing that, then it's the same robotic thing that we saw today where he kicks it on his left, tries to see if he can whip in across or tries to do a shot, and most of the time it goes wide. Sometimes he can hit it top bin, sometimes he can get the goal. But it's a very flip of a coin if he's going to be able to impact. Then you've got Moreno that isn't the best at in terms of linking up play. He can do that, but he's kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. Yeah. So he doesn't really excel tremendously at anything. Then he gets pressed, loses the ball. Isn't in the right areas because he's doing the number 9 role, trying to link up play. The same way Jesus, we see this with Jesus. So then you've got a bunch of players here that are limited. And that is why your system and your decision making within the game has to make the difference, because you've got players that excel in one area, but they lack in multiple other areas. So your system has to accommodate for that. And this is why I look at this manager and I criticize him, because I'm like, you don't want players that have individualism. You don't like when they express themselves. So then you have to coach. You have to coach a system or adjust the system so that they can excel at what they're good at, and you can cover their deficiencies. Instead, he does the safe approach. Everybody defend, everyone get back. And if it takes away from your game, the bigger picture is we don't concede. That's all great until it's Chelsea, crunch end of the season, must win games in the cups. Yeah. There's a limitation to that. Because then when you go to Saka, Saka, go win the game. Well, Saka's like, but the number 10 ain't linking up. There's no space in behind. What do I do? Martinelli's looking at you. There's no space in behind. What do I do? Everybody get back. But bro, that's not my game. My game ain't get back. My game is hitting. You know what I mean? Martinelli's looking at him like, look at what I did when there's space in behind. Eze played me the ball against Bayern Munich and I was straight through. If you don't give me that space, I can't operate. If you don't let me drift centrally, I can't operate. That's where I operate. That's where I'm most effective. Ødegaard's looking like, you want me to be the number 10 and the orchestrator, but you want everybody to be robotic and sit back and nobody to make runs and everybody to wait in the box. That's not what I do. Yeah. Do you know what I'm saying? And this is why the fan base wanted a striker. Why? Individualism. A striker receive the ball, he can be clinical. Eze, giving the ball the edge of the box. If I got space and time, I'll punish them. Yeah. And this is why we've called for that. But at the same time, Arteta needs to know the strengths of his players. This Zubimendi in the midfield in a double pivot, bro. Look at the nonsense that he did against Tottenham. This should have told you he's not ready for this game. He doubles on the ball, loses the ball. Richarlison loves the goalkeeper, boom, goal. That's all from flip. I know the goalkeeper shouldn't have been off his line so far, but that's Eze not handling being pressed by Richarlison. You're going up against Chelsea that nullified their press, nullified PSG in the Club World Cup. Their press nullified Barcelona that play high-intensive attacking football under Hansi Flick. And you think that this guy's going to be able to do it when their midfield was struggling? When those midfields were struggling, you think Zubimendi is going to be able to do it? Come on, Arteta, man. Use a bit of this. This is why I said, bro, move right. Forget Rice running through their midfield, because we saw today, Rice didn't run through their midfield today. I predicted this before the game. Move Rice into the 6. Play Lewis Skelly there. He can do the defensive work that you like, and he can also drive with the ball, but he can also pick a pass. So you got a player that's more comfortable in the ball, naturally better receiving the ball in the half turn, but he understands I need to get back and defend. But this time he's defending from the midfield. He's not defending from the left-hand side of the defense, where if he goes forward and drives forward like he did against Atletico Madrid, if he loses that ball, we've got a massive gap at the back because he's got Calafiori behind him. He's got Declan Rice behind him. Do you get me? You give him the confidence to do that and drive with the ball because he's got players behind him. But you only allow him to do that when he's at left back. It's leaving a gaping hole and exposing Gabriel on the left-hand side. Come on. These are the things I'm telling you, bro. You should know this. We're fans. We don't get paid. We watch the game. We love the club, and we notice things that, yo, Arteta, you need to adjust. Zubimendi is not press resistant. Do not tell me about Partey. Partey was press resistant. This guy is not press resistant. And that's just a reality. If you're going up against a team that doesn't press, maybe a Leeds or something, yeah, you can get Zubimendi dictating the game. Do you know why? Because you've got time and space. But he's shown so far this season, he is not press resistant. 2 games now, we're seeing that he's not press resistant. Switch it up. Why do you want to be so wrong and strong? Zubimendi has to play. Why does Zubimendi have to start? Why does he have to start, bro?
Fellow Spaniard.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I think for me, like you say, Arteta's now got enough variety in this squad to find different solutions for different problems. And this season, like I said, we've all been there for the last couple of seasons where we've looked at this team and thought, oh, can they really do it? Have they got it? But I think this season, there's something that quite stands out. And it's not just the players that we have available. It's just the way we've been playing. Like I said, the composure, the decision-making, everything has been quite there. But there's been a few instances this season when the real questions have been posed and we haven't got answers. One of them is Liverpool. Way to Liverpool. Title rival, out of confidence, out of sorts. We go there and we play a very strange game. Fair enough, we lost to a worldie or a free kick, but ultimately that test was failed. That's one. And then we go to Sunderland again. Newly promoted team, playing for their lives, take the lead. We go 2-1 up. We would have trusted Arsenal to see out the game. We then concede in added time. Very unusual. Today, played against the Chelsea side, which is good for me. But the bare facts are down to 10 men. Again, we failed the test. So what I am saying is that all these results doesn't show that Arsenal are a bad team who's sadly going to collapse. It just proves that Arsenal are a very good team and very competitive side, and fair play to Arteta. He's managed to assemble a team that can compete. But there's a level to go up, and that's the question that remains. The question is, can you be an exceptional team and an exceptional manager that's capable of winning the league? And when we get a result like today, and like Northside, you've been saying, it's almost like PTSD, bro. Like, you suddenly start recounting all the bad things that has undermined our ability to win the league. All these things you keep mentioning. You have to play this player. Why do you have to keep doing the same thing? It's like we're collectively, we're wallowing in PTSD because we've seen this before. And when it happens, we become very alarmed. So today is one of those days. If you close your eyes and you say Chelsea won, Arsenal won, I'll say, fair enough, I'll take it. But that's not what it played out today. We played against 10 men. And, what's funny was very rarely do Arsenal actually get to play against 10 men against the top side. I think it was Liverpool a couple of years ago when Konate got sent off and we won. But most of in recent years, it's always Arsenal's player getting sent off or us having some debatable penalty given against us. We very rarely benefit from big decisions in big games. And today was an anomaly. An anomaly that we should have grabbed with both hands, say, thank you, Mr. Taylor. Thank you very much for your generosity. We'll take the 3 points. We'll score a few goals. We move on and let fans debate about whether Caicedo was rightly sent off or not, or whether Chelsea were the better team. We don't give a shit. We take the 3 points and move on. Arsenal very rarely benefit from these decisions, and that's why today is such a huge letdown. Because for the rest, there's how many months of football left to play? 6 months or whatever. I can tell you now, we're not going to play against 10 men Man City. We're not going to play against 10 men Liverpool. We're probably not going to get a penalty against them. Very rarely do we get these big decisions. So today was gold. That should have been like gold. Arteta should have seen us like, should have had his eyes open. Like, shit, I'd never, this is Christmas come early. But again, we just faltered.
That's the thing, man. That's the thing. And ultimately, when you look at the team and you say it's good enough to win the league and the manager doesn't produce, we're going to have conversations that if you don't deliver at the end of the season, sorry, Mikel, you got to go. You're the anomaly. sorry, thank you for building a team that can compete. We'll always give you props in that. But sometimes it's time to hand it over to someone that can get over the line, because the team is good enough. You know what I mean? And it's disappointing. But listen, half volley, big up to you, bro. Big up every single time. You already know. You know what I'm saying? And we appreciate it, because I know you are someone that that does like the manager. And you can see when there's reason to critique, and you can see, obviously you have your reasons when you do back him and when you do give him praise. Like I said, I didn't get none of that. I'm being negative when we beat Bayern, when we beat Spurs, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, if people want me to believe in this manager, let's win this league. Because if we win the league, there's no argument on my side. Do you know what I'm saying? I question if the manager can get over the line. He gets it over the line, the debate is done. The rival fans will have to show some respect, whether they say it's 6 years or not. At the end of the day, he delivered. People like me that never believed he can do it, I have to lift up my hands and say, factually, he's now got it over the line. So if anybody watching this that wants me to, or any Arsenal fan, to change their mind and back the squad and back the manager, let's get over the line. And that's what it is. Peter, love again as well for jumping on every single time, bro. You know what I'm saying? You're always welcome. And big up to everybody that jumped on. We're going to go to the emergency meeting. I am going to be jumping on literally 1 minute. We're going to redirect Northside Raid on the way in on Lee's stream. Emergency meeting, and I'll see you guys there. Love.
Big up.